Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Chatting with Nuts. This is episode number 96.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 3 of Chatting with Nuts, your premiere show where I, Jared Henderson, talk to my friend Jimmy Nuts. As you can see, it has been 413 days since our last episode, and I am so sorry that it's taken so long for me to get back in front of all of you. I'm doing the best I can, but Jimmy is just so hard to book these days. And so I apologize, but I am glad to be bringing you the premier booktube talk show experience, finally getting over some of these schmucks. And it's only taken us a little over a year, but you know what? We're here and let's just have a good time. Jimmy, how are you doing?
I've never had someone interrupt my intro, and I'll be damned if the first person that's going to do it is a stand-in David Foster Wallace wannabe that makes topical internet videos. Who do you think you are coming in here? What is this?
I just think it's outrageous, Jimmy, that it's taking you so long to get me back on here, because I actually reached out to you and said, Jimmy, when am I going to go back on Chatting with Nuts? And you said, oh, you've been on Chatting with Nuts like recently. I'm like, Jimmy, it's been a year. Alan's been on 17 times since I was on. He's been on 17 times. I counted each and every one of them. And you couldn't get me. I talk to you every day. We talk on the phone and you couldn't invite me on this show. Like, what am I? Am I not famous enough? Do I need to get more subscribers?
I don't know if you can even do that at this point. I mean, you're so big. Actually, let me turn the tables on you. I've never been on your channel, Jared. When are you going to feature me?
Well, I don't really live stream. And also, everyone's going to think it's a pity invite, and I don't want to do that to you. I just think...
Wow, Jared coming out hot.
I respect you too much to invite you for out of pity.
Do you think I'm not ready for the big stage? Is that what this is?
I think you need a little more time in the minor leagues. You're AAA, but you're not quite ready to be called up.
Maybe I'll never get called up.
Yeah, you might have a devastating shoulder injury, and just not throwing heat like you used to. It's a possibility.
I mean, it's very likely.
We're making baseball references, so we're about to lose every single person who was possibly watching on.
Oh yeah, these nerds don't watch baseball. Oh, we're live. No. Philip said, I think Jared just called Alan a schmuck. No, I promise you he did. There's no thinking about it, Philip.
I did. Yeah, I called actually just about everybody a schmuck. I'm sorry for those in the chat, except for, I don't know, maybe Evie, let's say.
Evie is pretty great. I will give you that. Yeah. I mean, and Evie actually has nailed it. She said, it's because you talk every day. That's why you haven't been on, Jared. Talk to Jimmy less, give him the silent treatment, and to get invited on more. This isn't totally untrue, because I really did think it had been like, I don't know, maybe 6 months since I've had you on, because we talk, I mean, almost every single day, I think. And it's usually Jared just being like, my life is so great. And then me being like, my life is so not great. And he's like, that sucks. Anyways, I bought the NPR mic.
That one, that's supposed to be a joke, but that's actually true. I'm very bad at picking up when people are clearly want to share with me about something they're struggling with. So I'm very common to be like, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. But anyway, check out how many views I got today.
Would you say you're a narcissist?
I like to think that my success would list other people's spirits.
Oh, we're all just on Team Jared.
And you are someone who, and exactly, and you're someone whose spirits often need lifted.
Well, that's not totally untrue. Monday, I mean, I was like, maybe it's over. Not the channel, my life. I was like, maybe it's time to check out, but bed sheets don't make good slip knots. So here we are. And that was dark. That was too dark.
Well, Jimmy, aside from that, let's ignore that I do most days. How the hell are you?
I'm all right. It was a long week, but we're here. I even went to H&M and bought a button up for this to have you hijack my opening. What, $20, $25 off the rack. I'm thinking, I'll dress up a little bit. We got the big guy on tonight. And you just did me. You couldn't even let me have my own intro. I mean, unbelievable. The ball's on this guy.
I just thought, look, it's episode 96, not even 100. And yet it's you've been doing it long enough to get stale, but not so long that people love it because it's just so old. So I thought, let's add some drama, let's get in the ring and let's like, you can be the baby face, I'll be the heel. Who knows? I mean, I don't know if you understand that jargon, but
oh my God. I just want to hold you underwater. It wouldn't be hard. I could just put my hand down because you're so short.
I'm just short and weak.
Do you think like looking like David Foster Wallace is going to aid you in your writing career, or do you think it'll hinder you?
I think it's helped. I think it's done nothing but help, actually. So yeah.
Okay.
I've been looking at bandanas online. Actually, I think I've sent you pictures of me drawing bandanas.
It looks. I mean, it's uncanny. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think that I won't do a public debut of the bandana until, if I could ever do like a David Foster Wallace video, which I think would be great. It would be really fun to do. And I think I would just do it with the bandana on the whole time and just never mention it. Never draw attention to it. Just let it rip.
I think not acknowledging would be the best course. It would be more fun.
Yeah.
But you're kind of a poser. You've never read David Foster Wallace, but you have an Infinite Jest quote tattooed on your body.
Yeah, that's true. No, I have read David Foster Wallace. I didn't finish Infinite Jest, and then I got the and then
you DNF'd it and was like, I'm getting a tattoo.
Well, I just didn't get around to it. And then I got it because I was drunk and I was leaving Boston, and my PhD, like my English PhD roommate, paid for it. That's why I got it years ago. So
you just offered to pay for your tattoo, and you're like, yeah, sure, whatever it is.
It was like a going away present, and he's like, but I'll do it only if it's this one quote from Infinite Jest.
What kind of friends did you have where the going away present's a tattoo?
I would describe I had two roommates in Boston. Like we lived in, two of them were English PhDs, and I was a philosophy PhD. And one of them was like very sort of buttoned up, super into like going and playing guitar in the park and just like having a really nice time. And then the two of us, then like me and like the other guy, just drank a lot. And so it was like, we just got drunk that night, and he's like, let's do this, And I don't know. It's a very bohemian thing, Jimmy. I don't know if you'd get it.
I wouldn't get it because I didn't graduate college. I get it. I understand now. I understand my lack of understanding. I really appreciate that. I mean, you're just lifting me up tonight, dude. You're just really, you're just reinforcing all of my positivity that I have about myself. It's really nice. I'm glad you're here. A lot of things have changed since you've been on, though. Obviously, it's been 400, however many days that you kept count of, but
413 days.
413 days. And look who's here tonight. It's Steve Donahue. Said Boston and David Foster Wallace were mentioned, so here I am. The dude bro king.
Steve, I doubt. When was the last time you stepped foot in Alston? I feel like you would avoid that part of Boston at all cost.
There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt. Is the Brattle there? Because if it's not, Steve's
no, the Brattle's like downtown. Yeah.
So tons has changed for you, obviously. Where do we begin? Let's start with the book deal. I mean, congrats, dude. It's awesome.
Thank you. I did get a book deal for my nonfiction book. I should have sent you like the little blurb thing so that you could share it with the world and put it on here. But sorry, but I am writing this book that's tentative title is called The Philosophical Life. I'm very excited. It's going to be published with Portfolio, an imprint of Penguin Random House. I'm about a third of the way done right now. I need to have the manuscript turned in fully in February. And so, I don't know, just working on it like crazy, trying to get it out. And I don't know, things have been going well on the book front, and I've been really excited where the writing's taking me.
Yeah, and I feel as if it's just the beginning of many probably for you, as long as you can deliver. You really do need to write the book. I mean, that's a pretty big part of it.
That's the big part, is actually writing the book. Because I don't know if people know this, like when you sell a nonfiction book, you don't write the book first. You write a proposal with an idea, like a thorough outline and a sort of pitch for like why you're the person to write it. Where with like a fiction book, you have to write the entire thing, and then your editor will want changes. That could take a long time, but you have to have a finished product. With nonfiction, it's not like that. Instead, they buy the idea from you, and then you have to deliver a manuscript a year later, in some cases 5 years later, like if you're doing a biography or something. And so you haven't proven that you can actually write it, but you have to like convince them that you can write it. so that they'll give you enough money so that you can live while you're writing, basically.
Is that somehow, I obviously getting paid is great, but isn't that in some ways almost worse because there's so much pressure on you now?
I could see how someone would think that, and I realized that how I started that is going to make me sound like an asshole. But I just think I tend to do better when I feel like a lot of pressure.
Okay.
So because I feel that pressure, I tend to be able to like kind of like really buckle down and do the work, rather than when something is very open-ended. That's when I tend to get a little lazy. So I think for me it's going to work, just because I know sort of my own psychology.
I mean, do you feel as if that probably comes from your academic background, though? Like having deadlines, having terms that you have to reach? Like, I think that kind of is pressure, right?
Yeah, part of that. But actually, a huge part of it is that like a lot of my creative process, this is true for writing, this is true when I was an academic, this is true on YouTube, is driven by like immense self-loathing, and pressure like adds to the self-loathing. And as the self-loathing increases, like the productivity increases. So the more I can hate myself while writing this book, the better I think it will be.
I feel that way in the gym. You know, I'm just in there just hating myself for like now 18 years, and it's not made me feel any better. You know, people say you can work out and it'll just get rid of all the bad stuff in your life. It's totally not true at all.
It can make you forget about the bad stuff for maybe a brief moment.
Oh, that's true. That is true. And also, Rid Book says howdy, and I want to give a big shout out to Rid. She is posting back here on YouTube. One of my good and earliest friends on YouTube, and I love her dearly. You guys should go check out her channel. She does molasses stuff. She does, I mean, basically everything, and actually has some pretty entertaining shorts as well. So go check out Rid's channel, which is now Rid Book, which I like. I like that name. I think that.
Welcome back, Rid Book. I've never seen your channel, but I will check it out.
Oh, you would love her video essay on Dead House Gates. It's fantastic. It's tremendously good. Now you probably need to read Dead House. Wait, how far in Malazan did you get?
I read the first 2 books. What's the second one?
The second one's Dead House Gates.
Oh, okay, then I've read Dead House Gates.
Perfect. Yeah. You should watch Rid's video essay. I think it's one of my favorite booktube videos, actually. Still to this day.
Steve asked if David Foster Wallace sold Infinite Jest before it was finished, and we'll ignore that other part about it being good. But that might be true. Once you're like established as a fiction writer, you can sell an unfinished novel, right? And then you can finish it. But for your first one, especially, like you and I both know writers who have done the whole like querying process for novels, and it's like work on your novel for 5 years, then get an agent, then then pitch to publishers, and it could take years and years, and then you have another 1 to 2 years after you even get the deal before it's published. For most people, unless you're a TikTok star, that's the exception. Well, then you get a book deal immediately, and you're published 6 months later.
It's fast publishing, fast fashion type deal, I guess. Kind of similar in many ways. What else has happened for you since I've seen you got a dog? That's pretty cool. You're expecting kiddo number 2. You've lost a lot of weight too. I hope you don't mind me mentioning that, but I mean, my goodness, what a transformation.
Yeah, I think I'm down like probably since we talked like 35, close to 40 pounds or something like that. So I lost quite a bit of weight. And I did get a dog recently. Name is Apollo. He's in my recent video. You can go watch it. Very adorable. And my wife and I are expecting our second child in September. So it's a lot of stuff going on. But like overall things are really good. Like things are really really solid. Evie, I did have the dog in the office today. He actually hangs out with me in the office while I write usually. But when I was setting up the stream, he started chewing on cables. So he ended up going on my going hang out with my wife for a little bit. He might pop in at some point though.
People are demanding to see the dog, but if he does pop in, great. If not, like Jared said, it's in his last video, so you should go check it out. And your latest video is kind of popping off, man. A lot of people are down with what you're putting out there.
Yeah, the latest video did pretty well. I was pretty happy with it. It's like it resonated. It turns out just telling people that the internet is kind of bad these days means people will People will just be like, "Yep, yep, it is," and they'll watch a whole video about it.
Do you,
I actually didn't expect that video to do well. I thought it would do okay. I didn't expect it to do as well as it's done. And that's the thing. Yeah, you really can't predict this.
do you think you'll ever make a positive video ever again?
How to Start Reading Again recently was positive.
That's fair. But you're also assuming people are not reading, right? So it's kind of negative.
Yeah. I have a video coming out in 2 videos. So not my next one, but the one after that. That is my guide to Plato's Republic, which will be the longest video I've ever done. It will be over an hour, and it will be like the most extensive video I've done. And that's pretty positive. You know, that's telling people to read this great book and giving them kind of a guide.
That is true.
To it.
It'll do poorly.
That's positive.
It'll do poorly because it's not negative.
Yes, that will exactly. It will not. It especially won't do well out of the gate. I mean, here's like the bummer that everyone who's on YouTube, either as a viewer or a creator, has to kind of reckon with, is that I can see it from the inside, man. Negative titles, negative thumbnails, negative topics, they just do so much better. They do. And the number one piece of advice I would tell someone if they really wanted to grow is like to go negative more often.
Jeez.
And it sucks, right? It's it's not ideal. The way I try to kind of rationalize a little bit is like, okay, you could start negative, but you should never end negative, right?
Right.
You should you might start there, but you need to lead them somewhere. Still, it is a bit disconcerting or disheartening that negative stuff, it sells, man. It sells like a lot better. Yeah, you make more money. It's easier to make a living if you go negative, basically.
It's part of doom scrolling. People are doom scrolling on YouTube and they see your face pop up, God forbid, and they're like, "Yeah, tell me how bad the internet is, please."
That's basically it. Yeah. Exactly.
So you do have a positive video coming out. It's going to be a super long video, and I believe this is the video where somebody that's been on this channel many, many times actually is going to have a bit of a cameo. Is that the video, right?
Yeah, I mean, his face isn't going to be there. I don't want anyone to steal on the show.
Yeah,
but I needed some quotes done from the Republic in different character voices, because the Republic is a dialogue. It has a couple of different, like, a few people like Glaucon, Socrates, obviously, Adamantus, Cephalus, and so I needed someone to do those voices, and so the person I asked, of course, was Alan. And Alan did them. I still need to pay him. Alan, we should talk about invoices and stuff, but
if you stiff Alan, I will die.
But no, it's so I had Alan do it, and he did a great job. Basically, I just needed someone who could inhabit a couple of different characters and make them distinctive enough without being too distracting. And he totally did. Now, the funny thing is that if you're listening to a voiceover from Alan, you can like imagine his face moving as you hear him do the voiceover.
Yeah.
Like I knew exactly the way like Alan's like lips and cheeks were moving in a way that was like very funny. But so if you watch the Plato video, folks, there's probably like 12 quotes that Alan did. Some of them are like over a minute long.
Oh wow.
So yeah. So I would say, well, I mean, they're extensive, but then again, I sent in, not including the quotes, to my editor. I sent like 2 hours of raw footage. So,
damn,
yeah,
that's a lot.
That was like, so it's gonna be a long video.
I think it's going to be great. I'm excited to hear Alan's voice. I mean, Philip said he's actually going to finally watch one of your videos. He said he's going to finally watch the Plato video. It's just to hear Alan's voices, which is ironic because Philip, you have like
that he did not say. He did not say finally watch. I assume. I don't think it's implied.
Have you ever heard of like reading between the lines?
I have, but I think I know.
So it's when the words aren't actually written, and then you can sometimes.
I think Philip's a day one viewer.
Read beyond what's on the screen, and I think knowing Philip and how he is, I mean, finally is implied.
Philip's
here.
a day one viewer. I think.
Day one
I know you
viewer.
don't watch my stuff, but I think Philip
Unbelievable.
is. Yeah.
Day one viewer is crazy. Is that because he's so old, or there's always a Philip's old joke every single episode, and it's
I don't want to speculate. He does leave comments like an old man. There's just like you can tell in the tone.
Philip's catching strays over here. Finally going to watch one of your videos, and now you're dissing him. How do you feel about this? Belltube said, "My God, Jared is getting more action than me. The mighty have fallen."
Belltube, you don't know what's going on in my life. You don't know. You don't know my history.
Anita said that video also made me watch the rest of your videos, Jared. And then Evie's saying, Jared, I thought your payment was making Alan reread The Dispossessed correctly.
I know that he's reread it, and I told him I would pay him if he did that. He also hasn't followed up to be like, hey, I finished reading this, because I offered him $500 to read the book.
Yeah, were you intoxicated when you did that?
I did. I believe makes it non-legally binding. So you'll be hearing from my lawyers, Alan.
Is it Legal Eagle at this point? Like, do you have that connection?
Yeah. I got all the top YouTube lawyers, and they are going to screw Alan out of that $500. I think he finished it because he wants me to come and do a discussion with him about it, and I'll happily do a discussion with him about it because I would love to argue with Alan live. I think that would be a lot of fun. People just love it when Alan and me, we just get a little ornery on camera, You
guys do have good
Jimmy.
chemistry. You guys have great chemistry together. And Alan's a lot. I mean, I know. I think I know better than anybody. And I thought that you two bounced off each other really well. I think it was like the most attentive I've ever seen Alan in a discussion in my life. And I thought it was a really great stream. But also it makes me wonder, like, you are... I mean, you're massive at this point, right? On YouTube, you're getting there, I should say, in the grand scheme of.
Well, I'm not as massive as I was a year ago, right? I lost 40 pounds.
And then you gained 400,000 subs. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And then a book deal is to go along with it. But so why do you keep coming around here? Like, why are you on this channel? Like, why are you on Alan's channel? Like, what are you doing?
My wife asked me that same question.
So rude.
No, I come on. I've come on because it's like a good time. I feel like it's not like if I do a stream on my channel, okay, I did like a random stream, terrible lighting, stuff like this. You get like a couple hundred people who like come on and suddenly want to ask me a lot of questions, and I have to like handle the logistics of it. I have to like be on. I feel like I have to really be like inhabiting that kind of like persona I inhabit when I film videos.
Yeah.
And that's like a lot of work, and it takes a lot out of you. And I don't mind doing it. I mean, I do this for a living, and I like doing this for a living. But I like just hanging out, and I like hanging out with you. You and I are like quite good friends. Someone wrote in the comments of Alan's video, because I went and checked the comments. It was something like Alan or Jared really likes Alan. It's cute, and I'm like, it is cute. It is, but like I do really like Alan, and it is cute. And I don't know. I just like have a good time. And it's very much a, it's just like a fun thing to do where I don't have to like be performing too much. And as Mitch points out, it is an act of charity. I'm trying to kind of balance out all that bad stuff I've done in my life that I was hinting at with Belltube. And when I am meeting the great judges and they're weighing my sins and like my good deeds, I'll be like, I did go on Jimmy's channel like 3 times.
and none of them did well. Nobody watches these. It's so weird.
That's also true. One of the things is like, the people who are in the chat right now probably all know me from this kind of stuff. Maybe they also watch my videos, right?
Yeah.
But they know me from like showing up on other people's channels or like popping into like their live streams, because I just like watch them sometimes if I'm like doing stuff around the office. But my audience isn't like, oh hell yeah, I want to go listen to Jared like bullshit about fantasy novels for a while. They like if you were inviting me on because you thought like my audience would come and watch, sorry, like this is not what they're like. This is not the kind of audience that I seem to have.
No, they consistently underperform. I mean, I've had people, with a magnitude of like 10x less subs than you, and they just destroy you in views. It's so funny to me. I love it.
I wouldn't put it as destroyed. I would think they performed better than they performed better than expected, and I performed admirably, I would say.
I'm not. Hey, you know as well as I do, the views do not dictate how good an episode is, because last time BellTube and me were together, we went off the rails, and I think it's like one of my favorite conversations I've ever had, and that I think it's criminally underviewed. So I'm not saying the episodes aren't good, Jared. I love talking to you. I'm just saying that the people do not.
Just curious. Hey, I'm really sorry to cut you off really quickly. How do I leave?
You can well, you're on a Mac because you're pretentious, so you can hit Command Q. That will just shut her down. Yeah.
Okay.
I had to
just like.
What do you think it says?
We're unplugging the whole thing.
What do you think it says about you or your audience, the fact that they don't travel well? Because like my audience travels well. That's one thing I've noticed. So like, I think
it's because I don't share. It's because I don't share personal details about myself on my channel that much.
Okay.
People who watch me on these live streams probably know more about the inner workings of like my personal life.
Yeah.
Than people who watch just my main channel videos.
Yeah, you're good at staying on topic. Like you're not, me, I'll throw in an aside about something and how I relate it to the book or whatever. And obviously with these, I get way more loose, but I guess that's fair. Like many people just stick to the topic. Like they know you for the topics, which isn't bad, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. I have purposely kind of, okay, because like I did like a transformation on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
I started off very much like book stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And really, book stuff isn't anywhere kind of close to my main topic anymore. And I did this kind of personally. And Jack points out on Substack, I do share more personal details. People who kind of decided to come read my newsletter, they might, hear a little bit more about me. But like on YouTube, I decided I was going to like present videos that are pretty tightly scripted, that are about a particular topic, that are kind of like I can weave in a few different themes or a few different topics about the main topic. Like I had an idea, like a vision for what the video would be. And to be completely honest, the way I thought about it was like, what if a philosopher tried to make a video like Vox? And that was basically what I decided to do.
Okay.
And that's been, if you look at it, you can kind of see what I'm doing that way.
Yeah.
And I because of that though, I really kind of me personally had to step back from like the videos. Like me as like a personality, you can kind of see me as a personality, meaning the one presenting information, but it's like I'm no longer kind of a character in my videos, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. And maybe that is the key. Like I like that is probably the key of why your things work, because you're deeply unlikable. And no, I'm just kidding. I would just like to say
every time we talk every day, and each day you're like, if Jared calls me one more time today, this will be the night that I finally do it.
I got big news, bud. Things are going swell again.
Yeah.
HR said,
Jimmy, I know I called you earlier to say things were going well, but I had to call again because they're going even better.
You should have been here for part 2 of the day. I mean, it was crazy. It topped the first part easily. My God. I don't know, Jared. I was hoping your audience would travel. I need the big paycheck, but I think we'll be doing just fine with the core that's here. And HR, by the way, said, Jared, get Man Carrying Book Thing on Jimmy's stream. Fun fact, Man Carrying Thing was one of the early guests on Chatting with Nuts. I haven't talked to Jake in a minute, but I know, that line's always there. I would love to have Jake back on because he's read so much since then. And also, as you know, Jared, Jake's just a fantastic guy. I love him.
One, Jake's great. I love Jake. 2, you were actually friends with Jake before me.
Yes.
No.
Did I connect you two? No, I didn't. No. I don't do that, actually. I don't do that.
No.
It makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm not a big fan of it.
You're good at knowing successful people. It's a weird talent.
What does that mean? Like, I don't know what that means about, like, for me as a person.
I know what it means.
Well, what? Tell me. I'm curious.
I think we should move on.
Tell me.
I'm just saying,
Tell
for
me.
some reason, you seem to be very good at getting to know people right before
The blow up.
they become they blow up, right? I believe you used to caddy for Triple H, right?
I have had a personal conversation with Triple H multiple times. 2 times. 3 times? 2 or 3 times. He even apologized to me, actually. Fun fact.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. You're never going to be famous. Is that what he said?
He said, "You're 6 foot, 200 pounds. We don't need you, bro." No, he actually apologized because I had to do a stunt. They were trying to show MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, how to take a power bomb from Kevin Owens or Kevin Steen, whatever. And we did it about 150 times, which wasn't fun at all. And everyone was getting annoyed, but MGK was, I think, inebriated, so he couldn't catch on. And the next day I see Triple H at SmackDown backstage, and he pulled me aside. He's like, "Hey, I just want to apologize. We're going to take care of you monetarily. Like, that was garbage. That guy sucked. You're the man." I was like, "Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you."
Wow.
Also, Jordan Drew, hello. Good to see you.
I always thought Triple H would be a good guy. I have. A good guy.
I had only good experiences with him, and he paid me handsomely. So I was like,
yeah.
Thanks, bud. Maybe I should go into stocks because apparently I'm picking the winners.
Yeah. I think if we were to say, like, find a birthday album for you, it would be full of doodles that said things like, "May every day be a brand new secret."
Oh, dude.
Just unexpected. I think I've broken him this time, guys.
I have to be
Just
I have to be careful with like the next thing I say because I don't want to like I don't want to make it. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do with my hands, Jared.
I'm just saying, a guy who has so many famous friends that you wouldn't expect. It just raises questions.
What files? That's all I'm saying. What files, Jared? What files? So hey, you're
Jimmy Nuts, the fantasy booktuber,
the retired pro wrestler, the Las Vegas entrepreneur.
Yeah. Exactly.
How do you balance being a writer and a reader now? Because like, I know you've always been a writer. Like you had a lot of videos on journaling, which I think a lot of people really loved. But you've abandoned that completely, and I understand why. But like a lot of people, I think actually found you from that too. So you've been a writer for a long time, but now I mean you're under a deadline. You're under that pressure that you so much like. So is it different now trying to fit in reads? Can you? Like, are you reading?
I'm still am reading. Yeah. In fact, I am trying to like do some kind of stupid reading projects along the way. But writing more has cut into my reading time, right? Because I now, especially on days where I'm writing either scripts or I'm writing, for the book, that could be 4 to 6 hours of writing some days. And just, if you're spending 4 to 6 hours just writing, you're not really reading as much too. I found though that if I go too long without reading, either for research or just for pleasure, my writing totally suffers.
Okay.
I kind of like, I'll tell my wife, like, I feel like I just need to like top up, right? Like the gas tank's running low, and I just need to take a reading day.
Yeah.
Some of that reading will be research reading for the book, things I want to incorporate into the book. Other things though will just be things I'm reading for fun, whether some novel, some, bit of nonfiction that I just think is interesting on its own.
Yeah.
Some fantasy stuff, here we are on the fantasy network. So got to make sure I'm contractually obligated to say fantasy, 12 times today.
I'm trying to get back on brand here, Jared. Okay. I'm trying to, but people are also, because of your silliness, they're claiming they were at Nut Island. There is no island. That is
there is no island.
That is insane.
It's a lagoon.
It's a lagoon. So I will say you, speaking of your reading, I remember it might've been the last time you were on, or maybe it was one of our personal conversations. You had your year so structured. You were like, I'm sticking to this and that. And I'm going to be honest with you, Jared. I never believed once that you were going to do it. I was like, it's impossible. There's no way.
Yeah. Well, you were correct. I have completely abandoned those plans. Those plans completely went out the window. This this stuff about like, oh, I have this 100 books I'm going to read. I think I will get 100 books this year read. But
It's impressive.
the idea that it's going to be those 100 books is not happening at all. So no. It just I lied to myself. I believed my own BS, and now though I have to admit I was wrong.
Yeah, you probably didn't expect to have, a book pressing down on you and a dog for sure. You didn't probably expect, and a bunch of other stuff that I know that you that I know that you
but
got
also
going
it just became like a thing where like I realized that setting up those big plans for myself like that, it kind of turned some of the reading that I was doing into a chore, because there's a lot of reading I do. There's a lot of reading I do that is kind of a chore, or at least in the sense like I have to do it. Like I have to do certain readings for the book I want to write, or for the videos I want to write. There's other stuff I do on Substack where we read certain books. We just read Remains of the Day, and I had to read a certain amount every week of that, right?
Yeah.
Now that was a struggle because I wanted to finish it the moment I started it. Like I was 20 pages in and I was like, damn, this is so good. I need to finish it. But I realized that I needed to just like let myself have that space that was just unstructured to just like read whatever I wanted. Or to just like go with my gut, some new plan, right? And just go with it.
Yeah, so I actually am with you. And this year I've been trying to keep like my commitments down. Now I am currently in the bulk of my commitments, and not many, but like I'm in the bulk of them, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it a little bit, man. And I think, especially with you, you're like me in the fact that you like to read very widely. You'll read Ishiguro, you'll read Guy Gavriel Kay, you'll pick up a manga, whatever it might be. And I think whenever your taste is that wide, it's just so hard to predict what you're going to be in the mood for. Like lately, I have just been all in on science fiction in my head, and I'm not reading it currently, which bothers me. But I am going to be reading some next month with our good friend Sir Jordan Drew. I'll be reading. Shards of Earth. I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
So
all right,
I'm with you. I think I have to have some sort of spontaneous nature to my reading, or I really don't feel like, I don't want to say the spirit of reading, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it. So Shards of Earth is a Tchaikovsky novel. I just like Googled it because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, whenever I had Jordan on, we were kind of talking about, I think he was already planning on reading it, or maybe we both said we wanted to read it, and then people were saying it's like Mass Effect, which is like one of my all-time favorite stories, and I was like, okay, I'm in, like, sold. And I actually think that Adrian Tchaikovsky, which I always say his name wrong, is pretty good. I think that he's one of the better people working today. So
I think he's good. I think he's good. Yeah. I think some spontaneity also just like, it just like adds a little bit of excitement into it. And I do like reading projects though. I like things where you say, I'm going to read a bunch of stuff in this genre, or everything from this author. I like those, right?
Yeah.
But I think it was just the choice of like limiting myself that all I was going to choose from were these 100 books that I had written down. And I just like, I needed to let myself have some variety. Now you did mention Guy Gavriel Kay, and I'm going to tell you, Jimmy, I'm reading another Guy Gavriel Kay right now.
Oh yeah, how's it going?
And I'm a little cold on it this time, because I just read Song for Our Bon, which I thought was good, though not as good as not as good as the Sarantine Mosaic.
Fair.
And then I started Lines of Al Rassan, which I feel like I would think was good. Like I would judge it as good if it were not for the fact that I just read A Song for Our Bon, and I'm like, it's not like the exact same story, right?
No, yeah.
But they just feel really similar. And if you've read, Steve Donahue, are you still in the chat? Because you made a video recently about familiarity in reading that I watched, or predictability or something like this. And something Steve said was like, the worst thing you could ever say was, oh, it's just another he used the example of Reacher novels, the Jack Reacher novels. Like if someone closes it and says, "Oh yeah, that was another Reacher novel," and like
Yeah.
that's their assessment. And I kind of felt that, even though I think like Lions of Al-Rasan is probably very good, because I'd read enough K at this point, I'm like, I kind of know all the beats he's going to hit. And I do wonder if he just isn't, there's not enough variety in his storytelling, that he kind of gets away with being maybe not very imaginative, because what he does so much historical sort of world building
Yeah, it's a
based
culture.
on real history. And the culture kind of does a lot of the heavy lifting for him. Fair enough. But then he kind of tells very similar stories. And so it's like, I don't know. I'll finish Lions of Al-Rasan, but I don't know, man. It just
maybe too soon.
It was too familiar. It was too familiar. And so I need to maybe take a GGK break. Yeah.
Okay. Mitch actually agrees. Said all GGK has the same vibes. I think vibes I would agree on. I am unlike you. I actually waited like a year or two probably between each of his books, and I've always been happy coming back. But maybe it is a little bit of the familiar feeling that I get. I had this issue whenever I was reading through the Dark Tower series, like one after the other. And I was kind of like churning through them. I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting burnt out on this style for a little bit. Not that I don't like Stephen King. I love Stephen King. Dark Tower, I think, is so unique. But I kind of had that same feeling a little bit. And that can happen to almost any author. I've always said there's only so many words that you have. Like very few authors eventually, or I should say never run out of stories or ideas or ways to reinvent themselves. Like those are truly rare. But at some point, I'll tell you what, Ishiguro, right? So I read Claire and the Sun before Never Let Me Go. Those books are related in many, many ways. Very different stories, but they are related. And the themes are very similar.
Yeah.
And so many people who have been Ishiguro fans forever talk about how the fact that Claire and the Sun is kind of a rehash Never Let Me Go in some ways. And I feel as if Claire and the Sun's amazing. Like, I think it's so good. That might be like one of my hottest takes about Ishiguro is it's like second to Remains of the Day for me. But a lot of people say, oh, he's ran out of ideas. He's just thrown a different skin on it, if you will, which is kind of what you're saying with what you feel about GGK. You kind of think that he's a bit of a hack.
didn't say a bit of a hack,
a whole hack. Yeah.
No, it's just that maybe I've reached my natural limit of GGK for a while. Let's put it that way.
Okay. That
I need to find something else. And I'm doing something very different right now from GGK. I kind of like flippantly mentioned, like on Twitter that, I was going to try to read every Thomas Pynchon novel before his new one comes out in October. And then someone pointed out that's like, and then someone pointed out that, there's only like 4,500 pages in all of his published material. So there's like 87 days. You only need to read like 57 and a half pages a day to read it all. And so I was like, oh, I can do that. So I'll finish the Crying of Lot 49 tonight or tomorrow morning.
Oh, I've read that.
How drunk I get on this stream. And then probably, and then I'm going to go chronological after that. Yeah.
I started, is it Inherent Vice?
And that's totally, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I think that'll be like, that's totally not like GGK. Like that's like completely unlike him. So I think that'll be like my fun, weird fiction stuff for a little while.
Yeah. And Pynchon has such a interesting imagination that I think even if it's not technically fantasy or whatever, like you're going to get something pretty special out of that. Matt Keane actually said, who is the anti-GGK? Well, apparently it's Thomas Pynchon. So
yeah.
Britton said he thought you were kidding.
Oh, is that real?
Yeah.
I'm always serious. No, I'm completely no. I'm always no.
What do you think?
No, I'm completely serious.
What are you thinking about Crying of Lot 49 so far? That the way, like however far into it you are.
I love it.
Okay.
I think it's so funny. Okay. I think I laugh like every other page.
Okay.
I mean, as plot goes, it's like total bullshit, right? Like there's just like oh, she just goes somewhere else and something else happens, right? But it's just so funny. Yeah.
I think that
So and I think you have to dig the humor basically. So
yeah, I laughed during it. I think when I finished it, I kind of was like, I didn't get everything out of this I probably wanted to get out of it, which Tad Williams actually had told me. He's the one who recommended it to me. He's a big Pynchon fan. Is it Pynchon or Pynchon?
I've always said Pynchon, but I have no idea.
All right, well, we'll agree on Pynchon for this one. You're also the person who taught me how to say Proust. I kept calling him Proust, which we never started that book either. That was another pledge you had. You said it was the year of Proust.
Yeah, I don't know. I put on my bookshelf tour on my second channel. I was like, this shelf is the shame shelf because that's where In Search of Lost Time is. And just was gonna read it all and I never started it. Some of you're saying you only have I only have 4 months. Yes, but I did the math. I only have to read 57 and a half pages of Pynchon to finish all of his books, including his short story collection, by October 7th.
Also, we just talked about how Jared doesn't deliver on his promises. So, I mean, I'm not saying there's foreshadowing, but there's some foreshadowing.
I'm going to do it.
If anyone can do it, it'd be you, Jared. I believe in you.
Do you want to bet? Do you want to put money on this?
No, because you like pressure. It'll get you to read it. No.
That's what I'm
nice try.
Please. Like
yeah, I don't have that book deal money, bro. I don't have that Penguin Random House dump truck of cash. Sorry.
Dude, book deal money though, you know this. Even though my book deal is like a nice amount of money, because of the way it's structured, I only got 25% of it up front. And then out of that 25%, my agent gets his 15% out of each of those. So it's like was enough money, but it's not enough money for me to live for a year, with my family. Right. That's like it's nice to have, certainly, and it's helped out quite a bit. But it's not quite the same. Yeah. I thought like when I first heard the number, I was like, man, I'm gonna get a big check. I'm gonna buy a new car. It's gonna be great. But it wasn't quite like that.
I'm gonna buy a watch.
That's true.
Four corners of the page. We talking about like familiarity with authors. Said someone once told me there is no reason to read All the Pretty Horses in a world where Blood Meridian exists. I think it's an interesting question about an author's bibliography and where to stop. Well, maybe even more so, is it where you start? Because let's say you read All the Pretty Horses first, and then you get to Blood Meridian, and you do feel. I think those books are a bit different, but you might see the similarities and be like, oh, I've already seen this. If this is what you're doing, I've already seen it done better, buddy. So maybe it's not even so much where you stop, but where you start, right?
That's true. I'm sorry, this was a very good point, but Mitch is saying Pynchon has a book coming out in October, so Jared's already screwed. No, that's the whole point of the fucking challenge, Mitch. Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize.
That's what we're doing here, Mitch. It's to read all of it before the book comes out in October. I'm gonna read all of Pynchon until then. Like, Mitch, keep up. Chop, man.
And Evie is saying she'll give you $5 if you finish Pynchon by the time the new one comes out. So
that sounds good, Evie. Just give that $5 to Alan to take it out of my balance that I owe.
Now we're getting out of hand. Now we're selling debt. This is how it all crumbles. You're such a capitalist.
This is how, like the tulips in the Netherlands, right? So, gonna enter into a speculative market about Jared's reading habits.
I would win. I feel like I know you very well. Speaking of knowing you well, Jack wanted to know if you read Tad Williams. I'm going to answer this for you. No, he is not. And he never will, probably.
No, I listened to like 5 minutes of a Tad Williams audiobook and thought, man.
Chill.
And I think I told you that. And I think you got like mad at me.
When I know that. I didn't get mad at you. I probably said, okay, Jared, go read another philosophy book.
I think you cried.
Oh, yes, I did.
I think you were crying like a little baby.
I was openly weeping.
Yeah. I do think it was one of the times where you were like, okay, you do sound like an asshole. Because I said something about, I don't remember what I said, but you were like, Jared, like, I'm just going to tell you this is one of the ones where you do.
Oh, okay, that does happen from time to time.
I might have even started it with like, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but
like, just let me stop you right there, bud.
Yeah.
There are times where
I listened to a little bit. I do trust Jimmy's taste to some extent. And so I would be willing to say that like the Dragonbone chair that was one of those ones that I meant it as a compliment. Jeez. but I was like, I would be willing to think that it's like a very well done fantasy or something. It's just not what I'm looking for right now. Like, I don't think I want to read like another big epic fantasy, kind of like for a long time. I don't think I want to read like a long series for a long time. Yeah, so.
I understand that, and I would say, knowing you, I think you could probably appreciate some of what Tad does, but I don't think that that's like what you're after right now, especially like with everything that you have going on and kind of, again, how widely that you're reading. I've been kind of in the mood, man, and I've been reading Rune Lords by David Farland. I'm almost done with book 1, and I got to tell you something, man. I think David Farland had a hell of imagination. I really do. I think he has some of the coolest magic I've ever seen in a fantasy book. It's all sapping it from other individuals,
like from other people. Yeah.
Very cool.
I remember hearing that description and was angry when I first heard it, because I had thought of a fantasy novel at one point that was going to be kind of based on this. And of course, the problem is like it's not a very original idea, so like I shouldn't have been angry that someone else did it or something. But I was like, he's like legit enough that I can't like do the exact story. Yeah. I've heard good things. His book on craft, on like writing and stuff, it's like very much like, how do you write a book that everyone will love, right?
Mm-hmm.
He calls it $1 million outlines. Like, how do you write a book that can get you $1 million? And so he's kind of ruthless about it, but it's actually pretty interesting to read. To just think about the craft of like writing basically like a Hollywood plot, putting it in a book.
Yeah, and he does get that. And that was kind of one of the things that, well, I'll talk about a wrap up, but that's one of the weird things about it. You can tell he's moving things along fast, but then he has to take these asides that are almost a little unnatural. Like these people won't be having this conversation as the castle's being sieged, but like that also happens in a lot of Hollywood movies, right? We have these asides where you're like, how long are we going to monologue here? I've been trying to.
It's a very like.
Go ahead.
It's a very like episodic way of thinking about subplots, I think, is like the weakness of it. Like, I have this subplot that I have to develop, so let me write a small scene where we just develop that, right? Rather than like weaving it in a little more naturally, which happens in a lot of like popcorn movies.
Yeah, and it can be forgiven as long as you are entertained. That's kind of what's happening in Rune Lords. I'm just absurdly entertained, and he actually has some moral dilemmas in there that I think are like some of the better ones I've read in epic fantasy. Like, it's really, really good. Yeah. So there's a lot of good there. I've been trying to avoid Wolf Hall, by the way, because I know, hey, just like
we're not
you haven't
talk
finished
about it.
Well, I think that this is an interesting point Red brings up. It says Wolf Hall is the Malazan of literary fiction. I literally had no idea what was going on half of the time because you can't figure out which Thomas is talking.
Just read it again. You'll get it.
Hey, you insulted Ted Williams. I soft DNF'd Wolf Hall. I think that's very fair.
Yeah. I didn't insult Ted Williams. I said it was probably very competent.
He's a friend of the channel, by the way.
I have no reason to think it's bad.
He watches the show.
I read it and I was, Dad, answer my phone calls.
That's why you don't like. Okay.
Yeah. I'll be honest. A couple of months ago, I told I was going to reread The Wheel of Time. I think I was just like, I just went, and I started the first book, and I was like, I don't want to do this. And I'm like on record saying that this is like my favorite fantasy series. But then when I started reading it again, I was like, is that true?
Oh no, that's never a good feeling. Oh no.
Yeah. It doesn't help that there's like that bullshit like prologue that gets added about like the ravens and stuff in the reprints of the books that's like not original to it, and you want to start just off with like the big explosion, right? Like the sort of unmaking of the world stuff, but like I don't know. Okay, Wolf Hall is not mid. Whoever is writing that, what do you know what words are? Like, you couldn't possibly understand what each of those words are and put them into a sentence and mean it sincerely.
Jared, you can't attack my fan base or my viewer base here. This is absurd. I won't stand for it.
My God, cultivate a bit. I want you to elevate the discussion amongst your.
I'm not gonna put up with this. Okay.
No, look, but anyway, I was like reading through parts of The Wheel of Time, and I was like, there are moments that I really love, and it was kind of very important to me at a certain point. But actually, like when I started going back to it, I remembered its flaws more than I remembered the stuff that I liked as I was like reading it. And I was like, huh.
So in that
Wow.
case, you can just remember the time that you had with it, though, because like you came to that series at a
Yeah,
very certain time.
yeah, exactly. And I think I can appreciate it for that. I'm never gonna like make like a top 10 fantasy novel thing again. Probably ever.
I don't buy it.
But I don't know where it would be. It wouldn't be number one, I don't think. So, yeah.
Progress.
Probably also, I feel like it's a little bit like disingenuous for me to make um a video about that for fantasy in particular, because I just don't think I'm read widely enough in it, actually. Like talking to you, like you fantasy folk here, just clearly you guys are reading a lot more series than me in a lot more of these novels. And
Yeah,
it's
you're
like,
in my realm now.
Yeah. And I have two choices. I could either read a lot more of it and become sort of
Here
more
it comes.
expert in it and then have a better informed opinion to lord over people, or I can refrain from doing that and still kind of lord over.
I knew it was coming. I could see the twinkle in your pretentious eye as it raised. And Jared, I think this is a great question for you right now. Mitch said, "Do you think people that have had repeated head trauma, lobotomies, or have lived for extended periods of time in oxygen deprived environments might like Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn?"
I think so, but it's really hard to say.
Oh, Beltube's going to read Teen Wolf Hall with me. So we've memed a lot on Wolf Hall. Why don't you tell me why you love Wolf Hall so much?
Let me tell you the sort of when the switch flipped for me, right? I mean, I was pretty
Okay.
much in love with it from the first page. I just thought it was
Oh, give me a break. No, you weren't.
No, I just thought it was like really forcefully
Oh.
written, and that first line, "Now get up," and then there's like this like him being
Oh.
abused by his father, and like the scene there. I do think actually the juxtaposition of historical fiction with the present tense works really well, especially with the sort of psychological immediacy of Thomas Cromwell. Like you're in his head all the time. You know, typically if there is a he, like that pronoun always just refers to Thomas by default,
yeah.
even if it sounds like more naturally could go to someone else. That's one of the tricks to like, no, really, like it'll be like the king did this, he blah 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 did this, or he blah, you know, thinks, and we've gone back to Thomas 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the story of this man who's like torn apart by his own ambition, and we know where it's going to lead. If you know like the sort of the actual history there. It's just beautiful overall, but the moment I was like, wow, this rules, is when it like goes back suddenly to like this arcane history of Britain. And it kind of tells like that weird chapter where it's like about descending from like these like mythical kings and stuff. And then it just like flows back into like the present story so well. And I was like, damn, like that's just like so artfully done.
There's no one else writing like Hilary Mantel. I can tell you that. I mean, I've never read anything.
I don't think so. Yeah. I think she really is. She really is something special. And the sadness in that book, just like that, it just weighs you down over time as he just accumulates grief and grief and grief. But he has to keep going.
Yeah, and also
why does he have to keep going? We're not totally sure, but
well, also from like a perspective of the time period, I think that it's a pretty bleak time, and all the power that this bad man has in Henry, and he's making decisions that are going to absolutely rip people apart. Rid said the opening of Wolf Hall is great. The comparison to Plasma was meant to be complimentary, even if I was confused. The ironic thing is, I actually really like I like Wolf Hall. I just have to focus on it, and I didn't have time to focus on it, so I said I'll put it to the side. But Jared has accosted me. Rid said Erickson and Mantel love to drop you in the middle of a scene with no context. Yeah, especially
that part is true.
Mantel.
That part is true.
I mean, to an extreme degree.
Mantel will skip forward like 10 years, reference events that have happened, and then won't tell you for 50 pages like what those events were. But she'll take it for granted that you like know about them.
And that's
like
one of the things
wife.
That's one of the things I felt bad about is like I don't have a robust knowledge of that historical period. I feel like everybody else does, but I don't. And I did feel like maybe I would appreciate the book more if I had some.
Yeah. I I don't think so necessarily. How comfortable do you feel when you're reading a book being completely lost?
I mean, I'm pretty comfortable.
Because I would say I actively like that feeling.
It depends. Sometimes I really like it. Sometimes I don't. It depends on my mood.
I actively like it when I don't understand a book. And then I view it as like a challenge, right? I mean, if you think about some of the stuff that I love the most, like Book of the New Sun,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of piece this together. I like that sense of like mystery, wonder. The author is clearly up to something, and you have to kind of figure out what he's up to or she's up to. Sorry.
Misogyny.
Uh,
No, not surprised you like Book of the New Sun.
Yeah, when I'm thinking about the things that I love the most about Book of the New Sun, it's like I love the interesting world building, I love the prose, and I love the depiction of women.
Oh my god. I just love that there's no agency. It's fantastic. It really speaks to me.
Yeah. No, but anyway, like I like books where I don't really understand what's going on. And if you really like that, maybe it's a little bit easier to get into Wolf Hall at first.
And I was into it. I mean, the opening of the book is incredibly powerful with his dad and the abusive situation, and then moving in. What was it with his sister and the husband? Right? Isn't that what happens? Is it his sister?
Well, he goes to them. He goes to his sister and her husband.
Oh, and her husband's a coward.
The Welsh, and a Welshman and a coward. And then, but he runs off like immediately. And that's when he starts his childhood / he becomes a mercenary. That's when he learns all his languages. It's when he learns about banking and stuff. But of course, we don't see any of that because then immediately it cuts to him working for Wolsey.
Yeah, Wolseley. And you got to piece it together and be like, oh, okay, we're in the future now. Lauren Spear says Cromwell truly is the Randolph Thor of England. I don't know if this is true, but I love this. I
don't know what it would mean actually here, but but it is funny. I do like it. So yeah.
He has a haram. That's what it is. Cy Kepler said, I haven't read the books yet, but the Wolf Hall series is fantastic. The sadness is constantly present whenever Cromwell is on the screen. I've heard the TV show is fabulous.
I have heard good things.
I thought about just watching the TV show, if I'm being honest. Red said, there's a line in Wolf Hall about lawyers that still makes me laugh. When I think about it, Mantel has a really great sense of humor, too. I remember laughing in the book a few different times. Usually it was when Cromwell was talking to... the guy that was like mentoring him. I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter. No one's going to read it anyways, Jared. I'm sorry.
When he's talking to the Cardinal?
Yeah, I think it's the Cardinal. I think they have some good
Cardinal Wolsey.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've put it down, unfortunately. If you had to pick the book between Remains of the Day and Wolf Hall, which one would you pick?
Wolf Hall.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, Wolf Hall's better.
Oh,
but that's like,
come on.
But like Remains of the Day is like really excellent. Like it's really, really good, but Wolf Hall is better.
How? There's no way.
The words on the page come together in a more satisfying.
It's bigger. It automatically is worse because it's bigger. In my opinion.
No, I think that it tells a more complex story, which does allow you to wrestle with some other themes a little bit more. The Remains of the Day, though, let me be like really clear, is excellent. That the Remains of the Day is, I think, perfect in a particular sense, and maybe Wolf Hall is too. I'm not totally sure. But I use when I call a book perfect, what I mean is this. I mean that I couldn't think of a way to change it that would make me like it more. Okay? So there are some books that I'm like, as they are, I can't think of anything to fix it, right? And I often think to myself like, what are something that I would do to change a book that I really liked. I'm like, I like to think about that. Like, what would have made it better? Remains of the Day, I don't think there is anything. I think it would have, any alteration would have detracted from that story.
Yeah.
But I still think that as a whole, Wolf Hall is better. Yeah.
We'll agree to disagree, I guess. Jared. I don't know where we're going to be after tonight. This might be it. This might be it for you and I.
Wow.
And now you got people agreeing with you, which is disgusting. Matt said Remains is more elegant. Wolf Hall has more depth. That seems like a pretty fair assessment. Matt's pretty based.
I agree with the second half. Wolf Hall has more depth. I agree with that part.
Also, I did want to say, reading Addy. I don't know. Jared just reminded me a question I wanted to ask. Can anyone suggest Dying Earth books similar to the New Sun? Obviously, Dying Earth by Jack Vance is kind of the OG, but then you can also go to Niftaline, which is written, I believe, in Jack Vance's world, and it's supposed to be extraordinarily complicated. And then if you want a standalone, Cage of Souls by Adrian Tchaikovsky is one. I actually don't like that book, but you might like it. And then
I would also say one great Dying Earth novel that people often forget is Wolf Hall, because we're all going to die one day. Earth is.
I wish I had a fart sound on my soundboard every time you talk about Wolf Hall.
Bring out the nut button. Bring out the nut button for that. That was a nut button. That was a nut.
There, you got the nut button.
Yeah,
you got the nut.
That was the nut. Yeah.
Belltube said, "I'll read Wolf Hall when I
all
finish
around Nut Island."
There is no Nut Island. There's never been a Nut Island. There's nothing to do with a Nut Island. That never happened. Jared, employers can watch this stream. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my gosh. So you've already hated on GGK, so he's over. I guess you're saying Ishiguro is second fiddle to a book that barely makes sense. So that's upsetting. Let's talk about your bookshelf tour on your second channel. What's up with this?
Well, so I finally, it's been I think there was like a 150-day gap between publishing a video on my second channel, but I finally put one out. I did a bookshelf tour. I actually cut a lot of stuff because the footage just wasn't great. But it still ended up being an hour long because I got these new bookshelves in my office or in my living room. I had built-ins installed, and I was like, I'm just going to show off the books that I've chosen to kind of present to the world. A lot of philosophy stuff. I have basically an entire shelf that's just my Le Guin shelf plus a few other things because it doesn't quite fill it up. I've got my John le Carré shelf for a bunch of spy novels. I've got a lot of I've got this one shelf that I think of as if Steve Donahue saw it, he would have an aneurysm because it's where I've got I've got my Pynchon, I've got my Wallace, I've got my Nausgard. I think I had Philip Roth on there for a little while. And so I don't know, it was fun to kind of just show books off. And there is a part, as Evie mentions, that at some point in the bookshelf tour I changed shirts and stuff, and that's because my kid ran in. I think I filmed while my wife took him to a farmer's market, and they came in, and whenever he goes out and it's hot, he always really wants ice cream when he comes home, and he's got this very particular way he demands it. We have 4 flavors of ice cream in our freezer right now, and he wants a tiny little piece of each of the 4 flavors in the bowl.
Very particular.
He doesn't want just one, and so we had to go do that, and then I ended up showering, changing shirts, finishing up the bookshelf tour. Yeah,
the pretension is starting
anyway, it was
early.
fun. The what is starting early?
The pretension is starting early.
Let's hope it's just pretension. Yeah.
That was good. That was very good.
But yeah, but it was kind of fun actually to do. What was fun about that video was that on that channel, that was just me kind of just talking about some books and just showing them off, and it was a big leg reveal. Never shown my legs on camera.
Well, they're only so big. I mean,
yeah, I've got a real chicken leg problem right now, but also just putting on putting on a little lav mic or whatever, and just talking about stuff rather than really thinking about the script or the production or something like that.
Yeah, a little more raw, a little more organic. Yeah,
definitely more raw, definitely more organic. But I thought it was a good time. The problem I think is that a lot of people took that, not a lot, some people took that as representative of my entire book collection. I've got this giant shelf in my office here. There's a bookshelf in practically every room of my house, right? There's this room that's like a side room next to our kitchen that's right now like where my kids' toys are, and I'm already planning to install more bookshelves there once he's like a little bit older and take it over and turn it into like a reading room. But you know, for now I've got to like let him have a place to play. And I guess with kid 2, that's going to ruin those plans for a few more years, but you know, whatever.
They're fairly close together. You'll be okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, like I have a lot more books, and people are like, oh, you didn't show any of this, so I guess you don't like that. Like BS, man. Okay, like I got a lot of books. All right, I got more books than you. I assume. So let's see.
Did you just flex your book count? I mean, you want to read 100 books? You got more on your bookshelf tour. I mean, it sounds like the bookshelf tour is not finished. That's what I would say.
No, I mean, I could do it. I could, but like another problem is that in order to do a bookshelf tour in my office, I had to clean my office, and I film here, but I film behind a table. Like it's like, you know, it'd be such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, all this over here is a mess.
The question is, there's a couple of questions here of, is A Song of Ice and Fire on this shelf? No. I used to have some paperbacks of A Song of Ice and Fire, and then I definitely had a hardback of the 5th book. Was it 5? Are there 5 right now, or are there 6?
There's 5 in the main series, yeah.
Okay, yeah, 5. Okay, I had a hardback of the 5th because I remember I liked A Song of Ice and Fire so much at the time that I had pre-ordered the 5th book to be delivered to my house, but then I was visiting my grandparents in Florida and I wasn't going to get to read it for like 2 weeks. So I went to like a Barnes and Noble and bought it so that I could read it. Do you remember what it was like when those books came out, Jimmy?
I remember even when Fire and Blood came out, everyone else was mad and I was so excited. I was like, it's gonna be sick.
But and so I did like them. I have no idea where they are. Actually, no, I have a good sense of where they are. If I probably have about 1,000 books still at my mom's house in Ohio in bins, in like rubber tubs in her basement, that I still need to go and get, and I think that's where all of those would be. That said, if I were going to clear out books, I don't think I would keep them. Like, you know, like that I'd probably give them away.
Why?
Because I know I'm not going to read them again. I'm not going to read them again.
Ever.
Yeah, probably ever.
Oh
Here's the thing. Here's what I think. I've said I would read those 5 books again if there was an actual release date with like the 6
up.
book. Well, no, it's just that I like them, but I don't like them enough to like keep revisiting them when I know they're not going to be finished. I think this is totally reasonable. And I'm not even like one of these like George owes us another book because like I'm so sad. No, like it's not about that. It's just like I don't feel the need to go and read them again if I'm not going to then continue, you know, like I think that's totally reasonable.
I mean, I'm not saying
you are acting like I'm the asshole here, but you're like, hey, go read these 5 books that are never gonna be like what?
Jared, let me give you a dose of reality real quick, okay? But I know this isn't, you know, I'm gonna bring you down a little bit to my level. You pissed off both sides. You made fun of people who are mad that they're not finished, and then you pissed me off by saying, "Oh, I'd never read them again." Like you are on an island, and it's called Asshole Island. It's not Nut Island. It's Asshole Island in population 1.
There is no flight list to this island.
Population 1.
Yeah. I think this is reasonable.
Who is this guy? Jimmy about to go One Piece.
Look.
Oh my God. Jared.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
Honestly, I would have said that's reasonable.
Bad.
I would have backed off, but then you were like, I'm not like one of these idiots. Oh my God. That was fantastic. David said, thank you for
Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Thank you for Thank you for the 2 spot, David. He said, drop them for 5 and cause chaos. Love you both. Appreciate you, David. Very, very kind. Nut Island is where we send the assholes. No, I'm not making any jokes about this.
I think Nut Island is the place where the Winds of Winter manuscript is stored.
It's stored and it's all for me.
It can't be published there until Jimmy goes back, but then he's got to throw off the scent of the certain people.
This has gone too far. This has gone too far. And Eva has a good point. The strength of a philosopher is pissing off all sides.
Exactly.
That might be a good sign of a philosopher, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like every good philosopher is just misinterpreted by dude bros. I think that's actually.
And you're the dude bro in this.
I am. I mean, to be fair, out of the two of us.
You and Mitch are the dude bros here.
It's true.
Wait, is Mitch Canadian?
Yes. As you can tell from his 7 spot or 699, which is definitely on purpose. Oh my God, it's a mom's storage room. Rubber band level book for him. What's a dude got to say to get banned from CWN? Well, you're going to find out tonight. Good luck on your book deal.
Yeah, I think a bunch of Philip K. Dick novels are also in there, and I would love to actually go look at those books, but I'd have to like go to Ohio and like visit my family. And
I wonder if you'd have a change of heart once you see him. Like that nostalgia kicks in
like,
a
I'd
little
be
bit.
like, be like, good times, and then open up that first one.
I mean, at least the one that you bought when you were in Florida. Like, to me, that's a good story. Like, that's like,
yeah, that's a good story. That tells you I liked it enough, right?
Oh, sure,
I liked it enough. The problem is, aside from maybe some of the main characters, I'm very bad at remembering character names in general.
Okay.
And by the way, for those keeping count, we've hit 2 beer Jared.
Oh boy.
Just to make sure everyone kind of knows. But I'm very bad at remembering character names. And I remember like so few of the names from like a lot of the subplots and stuff. Like there's in Dance to Dragons, there's like this whole, like there might be like an actual Targaryen heir who's like been with a bunch of mercenaries and stuff, and like starts like, and like I don't remember any of that.
Well, see, it would be like a whole new experience.
Yeah,
it'd be a whole new experience
so.
for you. I would love. So the only I'm selfishly upset that you wouldn't reread them because I have so many things I would love to tell you about. I think if I were to point out some of the things that I've caught so many different times, I think you would be really impressed by the craft. I think you'd be really, really impressed. But at the same time, I get it.
I think you know what I hate though? You know what I really hate, Jimmy?
What?
Is these assholes who are like, actually, Game of Thrones was never good.
Oh, dude.
Like A Song of Ice and Fire was never good.
The revisionist history is crazy.
It was always just a ripoff of like the War of the Roses, and he doesn't know how to write, and he's not good, and it was just because there were like a lot of boobs on the first season, and then people bought the book, like all of this stuff. It's like, no, BS. Like he's actually a very competent, see, I mean this as a compliment. Like he's actually a very competent and like skillful fantasy writer.
And not only that, but he was dominant in the short fiction parts of sci-fi in the 70s and 80s, and won Hugos, Nebulas, and back when people really felt like those were worth something. Of course, now
he was like a writer's writer for a long time.
Yeah,
and then became commercially successful, and people love those books for a reason. I do think they're really well written. There are parts of it that I think are like really well done. It's just that like I don't want to.
I get it.
I don't want to go read them again.
I have
to read Proust, Jimmy. I got to read Proust.
We did say this is the year of Proust. I had a comment on Bend the Knee, the A Song of Ice and Fire podcast I do, and it pissed me off so bad. It was like this comment.
Right. Let's cool it on the plugs. Okay.
My bad, Jared. My bad. I forgot I was on chatting with Jared.
For this spot.
I did. I sent in a request form. I never heard back. So we had this comment, and this dude was just like, yeah, George's legacy's ruined. He could never finish a story. He never did. And I'm like, you do know he wrote other books and stories.
No, total bullshit. He finished stories. Yeah.
And honestly, pretty good endings, by the way. He actually has really great endings, in my opinion. But I was just like, so like this person spoke with such vitriol and hatred towards him, and when didn't even had no idea he had written literally anything else. I mean, it's just, that's when I'm like, is the internet a mistake? Like, should you have to put in a quarter before you type? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that idea. Just every time.
Is that censorship? I think it's censorship, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
A little bit, but
Like, what if you don't have a
I don't
quarter?
know, maybe yeah, go find one. You know,
Yeah, pull yourself up by
go
your
look.
bootstraps. Yeah, pull yourself up by your
Oh,
bootstraps.
okay, a quarter, Jimmy.
A
Like,
quarter, okay.
if we're getting to the point where we're like can't even demand that someone finds a quarter.
What is it? What are we doing here? I mean, Jared didn't even know they still had coins left. He just
That's true. That's true. I thought they were just paperweights.
oh,
I actually, do you know about the campaign? This was like a thing in the 70s, I think. A campaign against paid public restrooms in the United States. There was like a committee about this. It was like a student activism thing.
okay.
So like if you go to Europe, for instance, most European countries, public bathrooms charge. They charge a small amount of money to use them, right?
Yeah.
You've been to Ireland before, right?
Yes. I mean, I go into the pub, I buy a Guinness, and I go to the restroom or Diet
Okay,
Coke
but
or
yeah,
something.
but like if you're like in a city, if there's a public restroom, there's a good chance it would cost like a small amount of money, like some sort of coin.
Okay.
This is very common. Okay, in the U.S. we do not have this, and that's because there was like a bunch of student activism about getting rid of it on the grounds that it was unfair, right? And they initially have a point. Poor people would have a harder time going to the bathroom. What was the consequence though of getting rid of those? We got rid of public bathrooms.
Well, you're not wrong there
So
because I've been to cities and they want
it's
you
one
to
of the
buy
it's one of the
something
so now it's like you go to a Starbucks and you got to buy like a $6 shitty coffee.
and stand in
Then
line
you can
as
go to the
you're
bathroom.
ready to lose your
Yeah.
insides. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and like everywhere you go in Austin or whatever, like the only bathrooms that are kind of open to the public would be like the public library, right? And like that would be it.
Yeah, and who goes to the library?
And it's partly and it's partly because, oh, dude, I think I might have told you, like I don't get recognized in public that often,
Oh,
but
my.
occasionally I do. And I was at the Austin Public Library waiting for an event. It was a book launch event from a friend of mine who was launching his book. You know, friends. and then someone came up to me and was like, "Hey, I don't want to bother you." He saw that I was writing. He's like, "Hey, I don't want to bother you. I just want to say I love your channel. I just like really want you to keep doing what you're doing." And I like told, I think I mentioned out like my Discord, and someone was like, she's like, "That's just not fair. Like, Jared, like you're nobody, Jared, but like you walk into the Austin Public Library and it's like LeBron James." but like there's like
two kids from Ohio.
There's this like one. There's this one floor of the Austin Public Library where I'm a genuine celebrity, but that's it.
You know, it's amazing. Two kids from Ohio with a dream. One hangs from a rim. One hangs in the balance of a book deal that he still has to write a book for. I'm really trying to put
The
this
book
pressure
is being
on you.
written.
I better be.
Yeah. You know, no, I would say I'm kind of the LeBron James of YouTube for a few reasons.
Oh,
I won't enumerate them. That's left as an exercise, you know, for the
to leave us to ponder it. I think that's fair. Fantasy Fanatics said, did Jimmy just try to sound elitist for a sec and totally whiffed it? I think he did. It's not in my nature. I grew up in a trailer.
I could teach you. Yeah.
I'm sure you could, dude. You know, you have some nerve being from Ohio and then being pretentious. You know, that takes some balls.
And I grew up in like a Alan's here. Hell yeah, finally someone I like.
Dude, are you just leaning into being the most unlikable guest I've ever had? Like each time you come back, you get worse.
Yeah, exactly. No, I grew up in like a super rural part of Ohio, you know. I'm of the opinion that where JD Vance grew up in Ohio was kind of the city. And so he can write his hillbilly elegies, but like, you know,
he was
had
from
paved
afar.
streets.
From afar.
Yeah.
Well, you already hit it off with Alan, by the way. And we do have another celebrity in the chat that can actually understand being recognized in public. And I imagine Jordan has it way worse than you because unlike you who enjoy readers, Jordan has to deal with MMA fans, which let's be honest.
That's totally different, man. Like there's a chance that someone is going to be mad at me about something that I said, you know, on YouTube or whatever. But like there's a chance someone's going to like want to square up with Jordan. They get drunk enough and they're like, I could take this guy.
There were times where Kelsey would want me to go into the grocery store after jujitsu, and I'd have like my jujitsu stuff. I'm like, do you understand there's at least one person in that building that's going to go, oh yeah? Like, no, I'm not going in there in this. There's not a chance. Yeah. Jared heel turn is fire. Yeah, it sure is. It's Bobby the Brain Heenan over here, minus the cancer. That you are looking pretty thin.
But with extra brain, maybe. That's what I'm talking about,
Alan says, the celebrity Latin teacher circuit is way worse.
Yeah.
I heard a story last night on Alan's stream that he almost got arrested at his Latin quiz bowl nonsense he does because he was bullying a child and someone overheard him and they reported.
Nice. Good for you, man.
And they were like, we heard it was an old guy. And he was like, oh, that's me. He's like, are you talking about me?
That's so good.
I actually really like this. We won't go on too long because no one here probably knows anything about this. But Indian Tide says, what's your view on Alex O'Connor? I would love to have Alex O'Connor on the podcast, by the way. Just saying.
I want to say like someone else drop another 10 spot for Jimmy and I'll answer the question.
No.
But no, actually I like Alex. I recorded a thing with Alex for a podcast I was going to launch. I'm very good at planning podcasts and then not releasing them, as Jimmy knows all too well.
It's true.
At some point, though, that will see the light of day. I like Alex a lot. And I think he's a smart guy. I think he's a thoughtful guy. And I think he's interesting. And I will forgive a lot of other things. I wouldn't need to in his case. I just like him. But like, I will forgive a lot if you can be like smart, thoughtful, and interesting, or at least two of the three. And Alex pretty much consistently is. I don't watch a ton of his stuff, though, just because my YouTube consumption probably doesn't look like what people expect it to look.
It's
like.
Just Alan.
Like it's just Alan, man. It's literally, it's just Alan. I'm just going to pull up my YouTube homepage on my phone really quickly and just see like what comes up if I refresh my page. It's my buddy Fads. If you guys know the channel Fads, he and I brainstorm a lot. He's a good guy. And then it's like Fads. It's like one lawyer that I watch that does like weird legal stories. Some D&D stuff. Media Death Cult. And like some
shout out to Moid
channels.
Shout out to Moid, man.
Yeah. I love Moid. Some Okie dude. Alex's stuff about being atheist, it's not really that anymore. He is an atheist, but like, it's more interesting. And,
that's reductive. Yeah, that's pretty reductive. He's actually probably one of the most well-spoken atheists who has a great respect for people's faith. I think, and personally, I think that.
In my interview with him, I kept trying to get him to like get some jabs in at some people or whatever, and he like wouldn't do it. He's like, no, this is what like he's, if anything, he was like too mild. Like
he's well mannered.
He's not like, there are other people, like when he was called Cosmic Skeptic, he was much more of like kind of a new atheist type, and there are other people who were very much in that mold who did not change, but Alex has like matured quite a bit. And he's very interesting.
He is, and he has a lot of really good conversations, I think. I mean, I told you, I was excited whenever you spoke to him. I need to highlight this. Simon Dinosaur, thank you for the 5 spot. It's very generous. So I was thinking the same exact thing. Alan is here. Finally, someone I like. Simon, I'm right here. Like, I get it if you don't like Jared. I don't think many like Jared here tonight, but I mean,
I don't even like me.
Well, we got the self-loathing.
This is all. I'm dying on the inside. But.
Alan said he's glad he's my cash cow. I appreciate that. Sir Jordan Drew said I liked Hillbilly Elegy, but I read it before Vance was a politician. I think it'd be different now. I could see that for sure. I think that I'll take a jab at the transcendentalists.
No, fuck off. No. It's like Alan's like, oh, I don't like Ralph Waldo Emerson. Oh, come on. Like, no, this is Alan, get real.
Jared, I also like your opinion on Zizek. which
Zizek, I have like no opinion about. I think he's funny, but like I don't understand his philosophical stuff, and yeah, I have no substantive views.
Is this like Hegel? No one really understands Hegel.
No. I mean, he's like Hegel through Lacan and like through a bunch of other people.
Okay.
But he like does a lot of like media and like pop culture like criticism stuff as part of his like political commentary.
Oh, I know that guy.
And yeah. He kind of became famous for this like documentary thing that was called The Pervert's Guide to Cinema, which is like a good title.
That's just Quentin Tarantino, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of feet shots. A lot of feet.
Very uncomfortable when you go back. I mean, I love Tarantino, but when you go back and realize it, you're like, this is very uncomfortable. At least to me. I mean, I'm not really into the pigs, the let the dogs bark and everything. It's not really my thing. To kick it back,
Mitch has asked a very good question, Jimmy. Is it true that you think the Critical Drinker is saying all the things everyone is afraid to say?
No, I don't like Critical Drinker at all. Not even a little bit.
Is it true that you actually called him a hero?
I did not. In fact, I did not. And honestly, we can tie this back to fantasy. Are you ready for this?
One of the good ones?
No.
Did you use that?
Never. Do people know that Critical Drinker is in, I believe, the second audiobook for Dungeon Crawler Carl?
That's very funny.
It's wild. And not to mention the fact that I've heard the audio quality of his recording is like dog shit compared to like the really good like quality of the other narration that people love so much, which is very strange. He's the one you see double fisting.
Okay, have you read any Dungeon Crawler Carl?
I read the first one. I read the first one, yeah.
Did you like it?
I thought it was fun. Yeah, I mean, it's not a favorite by any means. Like some people are just taken away like immediately. But will I continue? Yeah, probably, because they're very easy to digest. There's plenty of it that annoyed me, but overall, like I thought the premise is awesome. The premise is sick, but it was fine. Yeah, it was okay.
Okay. I guess like I hear people talk about it, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in a mass hallucination. Like, because they say all these things about it, and I'm like, wait, they're like, this happens, and it's like this, and it's awesome. And I'm like, wait, all of the things that you said sound terrible. And like, if it actually works.
I do think so.
Like, cool.
There were times where I was like, this shouldn't be working, and it is. But I also have a lot of like reservations about some of the things that people really enjoy. But like, it's just not for me. But I mean, that's the taste thing, right? I mean, it is what it is. There's a lot of people who probably don't find Crying of Lot 49 funny, right? There's probably people who are like,
yeah. There are people with defective senses of humor. I get it, but like, like I admit I was having a conversation with someone, and I was joking about this, but I realized it might be actually like a real description of my taste. Where they were trying to get me to read a novel, and I like responded with something like, "Is this a novel where like people sit around and are sad, or is this a novel where like they do things?" Because I tend to like the kind where they sit around and are sad. Like I don't like the novels where they do things. And if they do too many things, I might not like it.
I'll tell you what. I respect that because I'm kind of the same way in many regards. I would say I definitely am with you. Derry has a good picture. DCC begins to seriously explore the impact of social media, then the need to become performative to gain views, to behave particular ways to succeed, and how it changes people on a fundamental level, which is true. I could see. I've only read the first one, but you can kind of see that theme, which is interesting. To be fair,
interesting. I mean, if it works, it works. Awesome. I don't listen to many audiobooks anymore. Over the last year, I basically stopped.
Why?
Not like consciously, just like it's just not working for me right now. Okay. So, and it feels like a thing where people say you really got to enjoy it in audio. Reading it sounds bad.
I don't know.
Maybe audio is more fun.
I kind of like the physical because I can skip all the game achievement stuff. Unlock.
That's the thing, man. I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want to hear any of that crap. I don't want to hear any of that. Like, yeah.
I can't imagine the comments I'm going to receive on this video after this goes. You might lose a few subs, buddy. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Let's see though. I mean, Alan's comment's very funny. I'm just gonna look at I'm gonna do a live sub count real fast, just see where I am.
He listened to My Way of It and audio and swore never again. Also, Garrick, correct me. It's the third Dungeon Crawler crawl that Critical Drinker is part of, and his audio sounds like he did it on an iPhone in a bar bathroom. Brutal.
Interesting. He's Irish, right?
Is he?
Is he Irish? Critical Drinker?
Seth Plato just said,
so,
Jared, the capitalist philosopher, you must pay to comment and that sort of thing. Let me tell you why money is the most important thing in life.
Yeah, that's exactly what I believe. That's exactly it. Oh no, sorry. He's Scottish. He's not Irish. I apologize to the critical
Mr. PhD.
To Mr. Drinker.
Look at this guy. Never left Ohio or Texas. Uncultured swine.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Feels good.
All right, Jimmy. All right. Let's not get ahead of ourselves
here.
I
mean, I got to take it where I can get it, man.
Yeah.
You kind of have all
But anyway,
the cards.
folks, you should read Remains of the Day, a novel I discovered without Jimmy. You should read it. It's great. I love it. It's one of the best novels I've read this year.
And not better than Wolf Hall,
top 5 probably. Well, I didn't read Wolf Hall this year, Jimmy, so it's not relevant. So,
thank goodness.
No, I this will be certainly if I were to do a top 10 list, I don't know if I will, but if I were to do it, it would be pretty close to the top. Yeah, it was that good.
Jack said he got my PhD in Chud YouTuber studies. What?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, Remains of the Day is fantastic, though. I think my next book from
did Alan think Remains of the Day was good?
Yeah. We and him had such a bonding experience over the tiger scene and how funny it was. And every time I have mentioned it, someone who's read it goes, "What tiger scene?" And I'm like, "It's the best part of the book. It's so funny. It's so good." It's very forgettable for most people.
It's not like a big part of the book.
Oh, it's like a paragraph or two. But me and Alan both thought it was hilarious. Me and Alan have very similar sense of humors. We like physical comedy. We love Conan O'Brien, which kind of goes hand in hand. And we love that just, over the top kind of humor where it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah. How did you feel about Colbert getting canceled?
So I think late night TV has been, pretty bad for a while. And I don't have an opinion of Colbert either way. I know a lot of people are supercharged about him, but I think it sounds like it was, it sounds like it was a raw deal, but let's be honest, dude, he's going to go to Substack or something. He's going to do just fine. Conan did it. I mean, Conan is huge still in his little sphere.
The problem is that he hasn't been funny since he went to network. On cable, he was great. The Colbert Report is unmatched. But as soon as he went to network, it was it wasn't good,
This
where the problem with Conan getting canceled is that he was funny the whole time.
Yes, and
he was actually funny when he was on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, and he also definitely I believe that Conan actually added something to the late night TV canon in many ways. I don't think Colbert has. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel has. I don't think Craig Ferguson really. Though Craig Ferguson's actually rather funny.
Craig Ferguson's different.
I like it.
But Seth Meyers, for instance.
Oh yeah,
what's he doing?
Yeah, or Jimmy Fallon is a blight. I think on anything. But I don't know if you guys, and I know this is way off books, but Conan Must Go on Max or HBO Max now that they've, went back to it for the third time, is really good. I really like it. And trust me, I think about this stuff a lot because I consider this almost to be a little bit of a late night show. And if I had the means, this would be far more like that. But unfortunately, the amount of money that goes into these things to make a production like that, obviously on a much smaller scale, is still astronomical compared to what this brings in. So it's just hard to justify spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a set. I was there. I was just about there. So I love late night, but not so much the current day stuff, which is unfortunate. And I'm not one of these people who thinks everything that's old is so much better than everything new. I think we have a lot of great stuff in this current era, But I do think late night TV is one of the things that has suffered greatly. But let's be honest.
I want Jimmy Fallon to be eaten alive by fire ants. Like I want like
whoa, they're eating me too. You know, I just
exactly. You believe it? He wouldn't even be able to keep a straight face during that because he's never kept a straight face.
And it's
ever.
the Roots, you know, and like I just feel like he relies on everyone else. Good Lord, man.
Yeah,
I'll be Andy Richter, I guess, Jimmy. You would be a great Andy Richter.
Actually, Alan as like a late night Alan as like a late night sidekick would actually work. It would
Alan would be a great segment for sure. I mean, maybe, who knows, maybe some of my ideas will come to life at some point, but right now pretty much this takes all my energy because I don't have any left right now just because of how stressful things have been lately. But Jinx said hating on Jimmy. It's all in jest. I'm sure he's a nice guy. Actually, should we
okay, I know that you have like a hard out at a certain time tonight.
This is
because
true.
You have to go get pizza.
Yeah, my favorite pizza place closes at a very specific time.
It was like an oddly specific time. Should we pivot to only sincerity for 30 minutes? Just talk about how much we love each other so people know.
What's your favorite thing about me, Jared? What's your favorite thing about my channel?
Oh, it's the community engagement. It's like your way of cultivating a community around you. Like literally the thing I can't do. But like the fact that you have people who give a damn when you roll like the pick the Patreon pick and you've got like the whole bingo ball whatever thing. Yeah. They're like the fact that you've been able to get that to work, right? I think that is I think that's really admirable and kind of shows your skill and just shows that you give a shit basically and that people pick up on it. And I think that's a really nice thing about your channel. And generally about you, you know. Yeah.
Well, thank you. That is very kind of you, Jared. I do give a shit, maybe too much. Sometimes I feel silly for how much I, critique this thing that I do, because in the grand scheme of things, like there's not a lot at stake. But to me, anything I do, I try to do as best as I possibly can. Though sometimes I feel like I'm failing in all those aspects, which is really hard. Do you ever feel like that? Like you have so many different things that you're doing. Like, do you ever feel like you're just failing at either one of them or all of them at once?
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm failing a lot. Like, yeah. I go through big like troughs, you know?
Yeah. Jordan, I appreciate
What's the best thing about Alan? What's the best thing about Alan?
The best thing about Alan is the fact that he believes what he says, and he only says what he believes. I think that's probably the best thing about Alan. He's an authentic person, and I think that Alan is. When someone says, I don't quite like that guy, I'm like, I know what you're saying, but give it some time. Give it some time, and he will grow on you. Because I think authenticity is pretty hard to come by, especially like online. But Alan has been one of my dearest friends for many, many years now, and I'd be a lesser person without him, I think.
I think, and you went like very specific here. I just think it's like that. Like Alan is very funny, in a way that's like not forced at all. He's just very funny, and like I like this a lot. I do want to say, okay, Alan, let's talk about this for a second though. On one of your streams, and I like contacted Jimmy about this immediately. You were talking about why you like Moby Dick. And when you talked about why, and your explanation for why you like Moby Dick, an objectively insane novel, a novel where there's a 1 paragraph chapter that's just like, oh, what's this lightning? Oh no. like there's like this weird, like crazy chapter like this. And there's like a stuff about like fake whale taxonomy in it. And your explanation for why you like it is it's about whaling and more novels should be about whaling. You're like Ron Swanson being like, I like paintings that are about ships.
Oh my God. You're not wrong. And also there's so many other things about that novel I hear people talk about. Never have I ever heard anyone say that about Moby Dick. And I think it's a book that, I mean, everything has been said about it. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I kind of find it hard to like get motivated to read it, because I'm like, what would I even say about this book without ripping off somebody else, probably, right?
Yeah, it's a crazy novel, but he's just like, I just like that it's about whaling. Like, read a history book if that's what you want. But no, like, I don't know, man. I thought it was so funny. I thought it was so funny that
Yeah,
was the
you were
reason that
dying
think
when
Moby
you
Dick
told
was
me.
good.
You were losing your mind. Like this is you
Yeah,
were like, this is unironically like one of the funniest things I've ever heard. I was like, yeah, that's
yeah,
out.
it was killing me. It was like, you just meant it. It was so funny. It was so funny.
Mitch is convinced I've sold personally identifiable information to advertisers. I've been getting calls nonstop. This is actually very true. This is actually very true. Jared, my favorite thing about you is that one,
yeah, let's hear it.
You're dedicated to the bit. Like you will go to lengths to do what you're doing, to put it over, as I would say in the wrestling business, with all regard for people's opinions of you who don't get it. And I respect that so much. I love that. I also think that you're probably one of the more willing participants in self-evaluation, which I like, because you've said, like you said things to me and I go, Jared, I need you to think about that for let's try again. And then instead of being like, well, who do you think you are? You're like, oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I am being the worst right now. And I'm like, yeah, maybe just a little bit. And I like that I can say those things to you and you reflect on it, because I feel like,
though, to be clear, in all those instances, I was also right.
You're not always wrong. I mean, I will agree with that, but yeah. Ishin says, does Jared think Jimmy should change his channel name to Nut Island so it's no longer genre specific?
Well, one, we've canonically established it's not an island; it's a lagoon. But two, I do think that I do think that Jimmy should change it from Fantasy Network. I think Fantasy Network is a terrible title. I think basically, I honestly think that like it should be his face as the icon, and it should just say Jimmy Nuts, or Jimmy Nuts reads, but Jimmy Nuts would be fine. And then he should just talk about books, and like he can do whatever he wants. He's not a fantasy channel. It's just not true that he's a fantasy channel. If you think you're a fantasy channel, I'm sorry, you're deluding yourself. So it should just be Jimmy Nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it probably should.
And then he should only do iceberg videos.
Well, I would love to. Those are my favorite things. Jared has heard of all my aspirations that I'm like, I should do this, and then I never do it. It's like my MO, but I actually am thinking about changing the channel name just to my name and just being done with it. And, I'll have to get the logo reworked that I love so very much that my friend Bee's made. I'm sure she'll be down.
It is a nice logo, but it doesn't actually like reflect what you do.
I think in some ways it does in certain aspects, but like I do cover a lot more than fantasy now. Yeah, like that is true.
I'm looking at your reading slump video right now. Let's see. Childhood Inn by Arthur C. Clarke.
Great sci-fi.
Not fantasy. Prophet Song. I don't know what that is.
It's like a 1984 Irish fascism novel. You would like it. You would love it.
Not fantasy.
Actually.
Okay, yeah. Guards, fantasy. Okay, terrific. So 1 for 3. The Blue Book of Nebo. Is that like a Pixar movie?
It sounds like it, but no, it is a post-apocalyptic novel set in the Welsh countryside with a mom and 2 kids.
Okay, not a fantasy novel. The Wandering Inn.
Definitely fantasy.
Should not have been. Yeah, but like why you read it is insane.
Someone asked, are we still in the sincerity phase? I don't know anymore.
Now we're in the ruthless critique phase, and this is very sincere. It's like, Jimmy, how many words of The Wandering Inn did you read?
10 chapters, I think. Which those chapters are actually quite long. I think that book might have even worked better for me if the chapters were shorter, to be honest with you. Nuts About Books is a really good channel name.
Nuts About Books is not bad.
I like that.
But my God, The Wandering Inn I hear some people are like, it's the best thing I've ever read, which is like, okay, read more.
Oh,
Sorry. But like, what is its appeal, man? Like, I don't get it. And they're like, well, it's long. And like, that's such an American take, right? Like the food sucks, but there's a lot of it.
It's a foot-long hot dog made from rat guts.
It's like it's the golden corral of books,
okay.
right?
Okay. There's no chocolate fountain.
You can never get enough.
There is Pepsi and Coke products. So here's the thing. I can actually explain to you why people like The Wandering Inn if you would like. At least some people.
Okay. Can we pause for a moment because I really have to pee?
You know what's funny? I also have to pee. But I'm a professional.
Okay.
And
so I can pee first?
Yes, you can go pee first.
I have to pee.
Okay. Go for it.
So
I mean, only 20 more minutes, and can't hold it. But that's fine. I mean, he's getting older. I wonder if he knew that he disconnected his camera. Let's see. Go to the chat here. No, Jack. He asked, "Will you be completely ditching fantasy, Jimmy?" No, not at all. The only reason why I feel like changing the name is because one, it's not a very good name. Like I'm sure everyone here probably, or at least I should say, some of you probably like it, and that's because you get it. But if you think about it from someone who's never watched the channel, like first off, Nutwork. Little risque, but on the it's not obvious at all what it is. Now, I'm not saying that my name would be, but you would understand it's an individual posting about whatever book I'm reading at the time, and you might think, oh, I would like to see what this individual has to say about other books. I'm not really worried about branding or growing the channel, by the way. I need to put that out there. At this point, the channel is basically not growing anymore. Like I think we've hit what we're gonna hit, and I'm fine with that. I actually have no aspirations of being 100,000 sub channel. I had a lot of success on Dudes Talking Manga, and I realized within maybe the first week of the first video hitting 160,000 views that actually was not something that I enjoyed at all. Not saying like the videos and making them and stuff and doing them with my friend Andrew was great, but like having 100,000 whatever. I'm not, and I also let me be clear. I don't have the arrogance to believe that that is an option for me either. I'm not saying I'm choosing not to. I'm saying I'm doing this how I want to do it, how I do it to keep doing it for a long period of time. And that just so happens to probably be capping out at like whatever I'm at, 18,000 subs or whatever. And I'm okay with that. Like I'm cool with that. But I just think that
it is a choice, actually. It is okay. A choice. You could have significantly.
Well,
you could have way more views.
I mean, maybe.
You could have way more views.
Maybe, but I like what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I like.
Can anyone let me know in the chat if you want me to be like Gordon Ramsay Kitchen Nightmares on Jimmy's channel? Like
that would be
gonna go through.
What if you started a series on your second channel where you just destroy booktubers' channels?
That's very funny.
You just go cold.
I did wash my hands, Jinx. No, I had to run into my house, but no, I actually gave someone I won't say her name, but I gave her some advice. I don't know if she's taken it, actually. So now I'm really curious. I want to know. Did you listen to my advice?
Jack said, "You're the Tad Williams of YouTube, high quality, low fame." That's where I want to be, dude. If I can beat the Tad Williams, I'm fine with that, dude. Big in Germany, Tad is, by the way, massive overseas, and so is this show. Actually, I get a lot of people.
There's been a lot of fans famous in Germany that we didn't love. So
the Austrian artist. I love that. That's only something you, I, and Alan would probably understand. Like, it's not a popular thing to talk. Like, it's a bit for us at that point.
Yeah, that's true. No, so the thing is, I do think you could get a lot more views. The truth is that the way to get a lot more views is to like completely change everything that you're doing. And the thing is, I actually enjoy what you're doing. It just has a low ceiling.
Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah.
And so the problem is like, I was like I popped into Mike's live stream earlier today, like from Mike's book review,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Oh, he's like, it's Jared." He's like, "Oh, Jared could like put out a video about like here's why remote controls are important, and he could get 100,000 views." And like that's not totally true, but I understand what he's saying. But I didn't write this because I didn't want to like hog the chat or whatever. But it was like the reason I got more views is that I stopped talking about books.
So how do you feel about contributing to illiteracy?
No. I know that I've actually inspired more people to read, but I stopped doing things like books I really like. You know, like I did one of those like a couple of weeks ago, and it didn't do super well, and that's like fine. I just kind of recognize there are certain types of videos I like to make that won't do really well on the main channel, and it's a choice that I made basically. But like there's a sort of standard booktube formula, which I think you do very well, but you're in that formula. You just do lives versions of it. That just you can't go above a certain height, right? Even Jack Edwards has stopped doing like book updates. He does like essays now. Jack Edwards does video essays.
Yeah, he also, has the resources to do those things in timely manner and all that good, make it fancy and great. I'm not hating, by the way. Good for him. I think.
Oh, he doesn't actually make it that fancy. He doesn't make his essays that fancy. They're like him sitting on a phone and stuff, man.
I don't watch his videos. Not that I dislike him, but I just
he had one about the Great American Novel. That's why I watched it.
Oh,
and
cool.
I disagreed heartily, but it was interesting. It was at least interesting to bring it up. I like wanted to email him, but I was like, this can't be our first interaction. So.
You wanted to email him and tell me he was wrong?
Yeah, actually.
You remember that self-reflection thing we talked about earlier?
But I wanted to be like, Jack, I really enjoyed what you said. Here's what I'd like to talk about the Great American Novel. Like, yeah.
See, that would be a good conversation for your podcast. That would be cool, actually.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
I like that quite a bit. You're right. I definitely am not doing anything to reinvent the wheel, but I think what I like is, like you said, the community aspect. And for me, I think I enjoy the idea of people knowing that there's a place that they can like come to and to hear about books, hopefully give them a couple recommendations, but also know that like when they recommend me stuff, I do listen. Like a lot of times, people will throw out something in the chat. And if I think it like resonates with me, I read it. And there's something about that has some sort of like real connection that I don't think you should expect from what we do on YouTube, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jimmy, Jared, don't read. Go all negative.
Not quite what I'm saying, but
I mean,
but look, a few other people said like, oh, okay, Daniel Green is very big. Daniel has a lot of subs. That is absolutely true. But how does Daniel get views? And I don't mean this as an insult. Like, this is just analyzing it. He gets it mostly through fantasy news, which is like a format that he kind of
fantastic idea.
He has a corner on that. It's a great idea, right? If someone else started doing it, it would seem really weird. So it's sort of like he found a new way. He innovated in the space, right? In the same, and Murphy, I haven't looked at her channel in a while. Well, one of the reasons that she gets a lot of views is because she talks about manga.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like her main channel, she pivoted to manga, which is a very solid strategy, and she had to recognize that Murphy Napier books is much smaller than Murphy Napier manga. So
I mean, you are correct, but also I think the idea of having two different spaces is actually a pretty great idea. I mean, that's why I ended up splitting the Dudes Talking Manga stuff, and then quickly realized I didn't actually like when a lot of people watch my stuff. That's what I was talking about when you were gone. Like, I realized very quickly that I actually do not like being perceived by that many people. It's very uncomfortable, and it's not something I really seek. Do you see what I see? I don't seek that. Yeah. I'm really happy with what I have, I guess. I'm very thankful for what I've garnered here. But I think a good way of putting it is that there will be people who talk about just books, and even maybe in the format that we do it, but there will only be very select few people who would be able to do something big with it, I guess.
So look, like the community of readers is not huge, okay?
Yeah.
The community of male readers is particularly small. It's just by the numbers.
Yeah,
right?
It's true. Yeah.
And so the biggest booktube channels, frankly, are channels that people in this chat aren't talking about.
Yeah.
They
I
are
mean,
women who read romantasy or romance. Those are the
yeah.
biggest channels who do that stuff.
I mean, romance
right?
is a massive genre, and more women read than men.
Exactly. It's a
Yeah.
huge genre. A- And this kind of like very heavy fantasy science fiction stuff here, it's just a small area, right? You would talk about it in terms of total addressable market TAM, right?
Hmm.
Where like if Jimmy were to make a golf channel, for instance, it could be 10 times the size easily because so many people golf. That's basically that's my whole point.
It's a
It's
bigger
not
pool.
like don't do things that are small. Basically my point is this: if you do things that are small, you have to be okay with the fact that like the ceiling is low, but you think it's worth doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
And
there's a
that's,
reason that there aren't that many people. There's a reason that there aren't that many people who, for instance, could make a living doing this because the numbers just aren't big enough.
yeah.
Fantasy authors can't even make a living doing this.
Yeah.
So fantasy
It's,
YouTubers expecting to make a living doing it would be shocking, right? Like that's the whole point I'm making. There are many things though that aren't suitable to the market that are actually worth doing. That's
that makes
that's my
sense
whole
to me.
point.
Sal, I'm not trying to grow the channel, and it's not advice. We're more so just talking about like the potential of this, and like I'm just saying, I am not shocked nor am I upset the fact that I'm kind of where I am and where I'm gonna be most likely. And Jared is just talking about why things might not grow in a certain way. It's less Jared like lecture. He's not lecturing me or anything. It's a
I can lecture if you want, but the point is like I actually think Jimmy as like a person and an entertainer would have a massive possible cap if he were doing something else. Because I think you have like the raw skill and talent to do it.
I
It would
appreciate
not
that.
be an uphill battle for you.
I think
Doing it with fantasy is the hard part.
right, or books, really books in general. I would agree with that. I guess I'm just not pulled to. I mean, the golf channel is absolutely like a bit of a temptation, I would say. But that's a whole nother can of worms. Holly said, "I'm a woman and I
Literally,
don't like romantasy." Yeah, I mean, there's plenty
yeah,
of
yeah,
women
it's
who don't.
it's totally true. There are women who don't, right? It's just that like there are so many women who do that it makes it such a big possible thing. But honestly, if I were like I could start a channel from scratch with Jimmy, it would be this. It would be Jimmy and Kelsey do golf challenges. And occasionally they get their friends and they do like a girls versus boys, like men versus women kind of golf challenge thing. With like consequences if you fail. Right? It would be
That
like
would
that. And
be
I guarantee it would do super well because it would get into like couples content, which does really well, golf, which does really well, challenge videos, which does really well. If you put all of that together, that's like $1 million idea.
yeah. I think and also Kelsey is really good at golf and beats me, and I think people would enjoy watching that. To be honest, I think
That's
people would get
that's
a
the thing
kick out of
actually.
it.
Kelsey's also very good at what she does. Like she's very strong. Like she's been very good at bodybuilding or like weightlifting. So I don't remember if she was bodybuilding, but if she was just
Soccer,
lifting.
super. She
But
played in
but like she's
college.
very
Yeah.
athletic, and so she's not just like the girl who tags along in the videos. She would actually be like a formidable force in the videos and would be like a personality.
Oh
So I actually
yeah.
think the two of you together have like something that's an unfair advantage, right? You know what I mean? Like there
Yeah.
are people who wouldn't. You just don't have that out of the box. My wife and I could not start a golf channel because neither of us like are like particularly gifted at like
You
these
doing
sorts of
anything
things.
athletic would be
Would be impressive. I think is
yeah,
what you mean to
actually,
say.
the effort. Yeah, honestly, I would be impressed by
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Just so we're clear, Matt, I would love to have Dua Lipa on, and I'm not joking. Like, that would be awesome. I think she would be very fun to talk to. Very, very fun. And yes,
She's
we're
very
with
good
her.
at book reviews and stuff. Yeah,
She is, and I think when she talks about books, it's interesting. Like she has really good
yeah,
things to
yeah.
say. I am in a spot. I don't want anyone to think that I am like unhappy with where I am or anything. I'm very happy, very thankful, for sure. Jimmy could be huge. Once upon a time, I was. Once upon a time.
So
I,
are we doing the Patreon pick? Is that what happens
no,
now?
we are not doing. I have no time. I have no time to read another book this month. I'm pushing it. I have to get through Rune Lords. I'll have done tomorrow. And then I have to do, How to Lose a Time War, which you've read. And you said it has some great sentences, but is overall not a very good book, right? You're not a fan.
Yeah, so it's there are some parts that are very nice. It's overwritten over as a whole. It's very saccharine, right? And so yeah, that's my basic view. Yeah, I listened to the audiobook and there's this one phrase stuck in my head that I'm like, it made me feel gross hearing it because of just the way the narrator said it and stuff. Yeah.
I'm doing it all physically. I have no real opinions of it so far, which is unfortunate because I'm over halfway through now, I think. Oh no,
I just knocked my beer off my desk. Just lost it all. I'm gonna have to clean that up.
It's not on anything electric, right? We're good.
No, I think it's fine. It's just gonna mean my office is gonna smell like beer for a while. Yeah.
It would seem that you have upset Evie very much so.
Evie, there's just this one part where one of them says, "My pomegranate," and the way the narrator said it like made me feel physically ill. Like I had to pause it and be like, ugh. Like, come on, keep it in your pants.
That's how I feel about Roy Dotrice every time he says peach. I'm like, please don't. Jinx, Mrs. Nuts is actually still reading the Patreon picks that she pulled. Mrs. Nuts is not reading 4 or 5 books a month. She reads, 1 book, maybe 2 books a month tops. And that is why it's taking her a while. But she actually, I want her to complete those Patreon picks before we start spinning for her again. She might be like once a quarter type deal. And I probably will make a wheel separate for her. What's up, Bee's Knees? The famous logo artist, amazing artist, by the way. Frat Office. I love to see it. I love it.
Yeah, I'm very sad about this beer situation.
I mean, that's honestly, that might be a good take home. That might be it.
Wow. Okay. Is it already over, Jimmy?
I mean, wow. I think we've peaked at this point. Like, I don't know if it's going to get any better than this. Like, we really gave it our best.
Wait, I see Mrs. Nuts in the chat. Mrs. Nuts, has Jimmy told you that I might be crashing at your place next month?
I did, in fact, and she said, that sounds great.
Okay, great.
The thing about Mrs. Nuts that's so wonderful is that she's always down to go with my shenanigans, no matter what they are. And she also is an unreasonable amount of help with keeping this thing going and helping me stay motivated and sane. Nice. So shout out as always to Mrs. Nuts.
I love it. Yeah, good. I look forward to hanging out with you guys then in person. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Is it going to be startling for you how much taller I am than you? Like, is that going to bother you?
That really probably will, because I do kind of imagine you as like being at eye level with me.
Oh no.
It's gonna really bother me.
Intellectually, yeah. I'm looking up, but physically,
yeah. There was this one time in college where I was like sitting in this my honors college had this like house on campus that we could all go hang out with during the day, and I was like sitting at the couches there, and I stood up, and this young woman that frankly I thought was very attractive, and like she looked at me and then said, You have the presence of a much larger man.
I don't know if that's good or bad, actually.
Oh no. It was clearly because she said it when I stood up. It made me feel very bad. Yeah, being able being 5'6" is hard.
Canonically, Jimmy is 5'4". That is the rudest thing. And Jared has insulted not just me but everyone here tonight multiple times. But this is the rudest thing I've heard all night. There's
actually a limbo bar. You have to get below Nut Lagoon.
There was never a Nut Island. There was never a list. We're not. Alan, we will definitely get to hang out again. There's no doubt. And I am 6'1", by the way. I'm 6'1" for those asking, which isn't absurdly tall. It's just Jared is remarkably short.
I think 6'1" is kind of egregious.
What do you mean by that?
Just no one needs to be that tall.
I mean, have you ever seen Tim Duncan?
Who's Tim Duncan?
You don't know who Tim Duncan is. I forgot. You have low testosterone. So Tim is the best power forward I've ever seen in the NBA. He's an athlete.
Okay, Tim Duncan.
How do you know Tim Duncan? He never missed the playoffs in his entire NBA career. Never missed the playoffs. That's an
Jimmy, I have
insane
never
stat.
watched an NBA. I've never watched an NBA game
That does not surprise me.
ever.
That does not surprise me.
When I found out that there were like positions in basketball, I was shocked, and that was like 3 years ago.
Was that also the case for the
I thought they all just
bedroom?
kind of. I thought they just kind of scrambled. I'm not even going to dignify that response. Okay, all right.
Well, you
we'll
have two kids,
FaceTime
I
my
guess.
wife when I'm visiting you, and you can ask her these questions. All right. I think you'll be shocked by her response. But this stuff about basketball. You know what it is, Jimmy? I'm a man. I don't worry about games. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Garrett. Garrett said, you don't realize how good Tim Duncan was. No one does. He's absurdly good. I can't believe that you just said, I'm a man. I don't play games. Like, unbelievable.
I think that's a pretty good line.
I mean, it is
good
until
line.
you start really looking at you, and you really just...
Whatever, man. I read Thomas Pynchon, and I don't play around with this game bullshit,
Listen, real big words come from
Don't
a
you-
guy who declared he was vegan the other day. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
That's true. That's true. We didn't even talk about that. Yeah.
When are you going to stop tweeting? Because that's probably a good idea.
At some point, but I meant I've meant everything that I was tweeting. Yeah. So
Are you sure?
I do. Yeah.
The Proust read along was a
No,
tweet.
No, the Proust tweet was not a tweet. That was
Did you
just a
tweet out
sign.
this stream?
No, I didn't tweet out this stream. No.
You son of a bitch! How dare you?
I added it. I added it on my Discord though. I don't know if anyone from my Discord came, but yeah,
How big is your
I
Discord?
did.
How big?
It's actually not that big because I never even promote it, and I don't even put it in my video descriptions. Let me check right now. I'll let you know. There are 2,500 members.
Oh, okay, that's massive. That's way too many people. I was saying about joining, but I'm out.
Oh, okay.
That's so many.
Okay. You know what? I was actually going to ask you. I was going to tell you that you should invite me to your Discord. I don't want to pay for it, but you should invite me. On your. Yeah, I just feel like I would be a good presence.
Minimum $3, Jared. There's an entry fee because I got to keep people like you out. Actually, that's what makes the community tick.
Fair enough. Tyler Stones, what drunk tweet was it? I might not remember it.
Do you drunk tweet a lot?
I don't know. Well, it's not always drunk.
Well, I know that. I'm asking how many of them are drunk tweets.
I don't think I drunk tweet that often. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking through my tweets and I don't see anything that I was like. I see someone blocked me because I said that millennials never had pensions, which is true. No, I don't see anything I don't see anything about me being drunk.
Wait,
everything I said was
someone blocked you for saying that?
Yeah, because he was like, millennials gave up on job loyalty and that's why they don't have pensions. And I was like, dude, we never got offered pensions.
It's the other way around. That there's a cause and effect, and he got him mixed up. I don't get that.
I did tweet on July 13th. It's nuts that we finally have bipartisan agreement on something, and it's Epstein. So maybe that was the tweet right after saying I was going vegan. So
yeah, so you just don't enjoy your mental health, is what I hear. You don't care about it at all. Yeah. Reckless abandonment.
Yeah. I tweeted the thing about veganism before I talked to my wife about it. So
that's how she found out that she married a soy boy. That's crazy.
No, she doesn't look at my tweets. Yeah, so
I don't blame her.
Yeah,
I can understand that. Actually, this is a great question though. Sai asked, "Why do you tweet, Jared? Like, why?"
Well, the problem was
Substack.
I was told I needed to have a Twitter to as part of my general public profile, and then once I was on it, I don't know.
You just let it rip.
Yeah, I want to send you an image, Jimmy, and you can figure out a way to display this for everyone. And then I'll tell you what I tweeted about this image.
I
sent it to you on Discord.
I may not be able to display this image.
Oh no.
Well, what in the world are you linking me? The sex lives of animals without backbones.
And then I tweeted, someone wrote a book about Congress.
You know what?
And I thought that was pretty funny.
You know what? Keep tweeting, Jared. That one was pretty solid. That was actually pretty good.
I thought that one was gonna take off.
That was pretty good, I gotta say.
Oh hell yeah, Evie, you are the best. Thank you so much for doing that.
I don't know what it is, but I probably won't like it. If Jared's vegan, how are he and Jimmy gonna go out for sloppy steaks? I guess I'll get him Impossible steak. I guess that's what we'll do. Yeah. Impossible steak for an impossible guy.
This is great. It'll be fine.
It was good. Jared,
the problem is, like, I just genuinely feel bad about eating meat. It makes me feel guilty. So
I've always said I'm one documentary away, so I try to steer clear because, man, I really like cheeseburgers. I really like cheeseburgers.
No, I get it.
Like, I know.
You know, but you don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we all have to have a little bit of cognitive dissonance, a little bit, right? Like, that has to be part. Yeah. That's part of the human experience, I think.
Yeah. I should be in your Discord any moment now, Jimmy.
I hate to hear that. That's terrible. That's such a bad idea.
Evie gifted me a 3-month membership,
which is just.
So. Thank you, Evie. That was very kind of you.
That's so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary, but welcome to the community, Jared. The community that you have been absolutely, I mean, just dumping on all night long. Remember when you said you fantasy people or fantasy folk? That's what it was. You fantasy folk. I forgot about that.
Oh, that's a compliment. You guys read those books where calling people folk is like part of it. You know, the tree folk or whatever. So you should think this is nice.
Apparently, you tweeted on 5/31/25 bit drunk.
Okay, that one. Yeah, that.
Maybe delete that one. Maybe go back and delete that one.
Thank you, Tyler. That one's pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with that though. I'm glad that's there.
But Jared, I have 10 minutes until my favorite pizza place closes, so I need to go make an order. But this was great, bud. This was I mean, the time of our lives. I mean, 400 days for this. Yeah. What a disappointment.
I could have read at least 60 pages of Pynchon in this, but you know.
And you have to read 53 a day, right?
Yeah, okay. I'll see you in another 413 days. I'll lose another 40 pounds in the meantime. You can gain another 7 subs in the meantime.
And you'll just acquire another revenue stream, probably. You capitalist
I want people to know that I actually really love Jimmy. I think of Jimmy like a brother. I think he's a great guy. I think it's a fun time. I love everybody here, but mostly I love Jimmy. So yeah, I really mean that. I really do.
I got a lot of love.
I don't sound sincere now, but I really mean it.
I know that you mean it. We wouldn't talk every day otherwise, but I'm glad that there's a place still on the internet where you can come and let your hair down and just be one of us small folk, one of us fantasy folk. I think it's really nice.
It's nice, you know. As Mitch put it, I like to occasionally go native.
Jeez. Where can people find you? I mean, I think everyone knows, but do you want to plug all that stuff?
You can find me on YouTube, Jared Henderson. You can find me at jaredhenderson.substack.com. You can find me on Twitter. I don't know what my own Twitter handle is, though, so don't do that. Mostly Substack. In fact, go find me on Substack because that's where you can pay me. So you can sign up for my newsletter for $8 a month. So thank you very much.
This is Jared Henderson, ladies and gentlemen, the capitalist philosopher.
That's right.
He's been to the island.
To go to the bathroom. Pay for this. The lagoon. Yeah. The Goon Lagoon is what we should have called it.
Thomas, thank you. There is at least one legend on this stream, and it's the guy with glasses. Folks.
Wait, Alan has glasses?
He does not. Alan needs glasses because he's old and stupid.
That's true. Yeah.
Folks, if you like this stream, you can hit like. If you dislike it, I understand. And honestly, I might hit dislike after this one and leave a mean comment about Jared. But if you loved it, think about subscribing. Let's be honest, everyone's watching this is subscribing. But drop a comment below and tell me what your favorite thing is about Jared. I think that would be a really nice thing for people to do. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it loving over here. There is a Patreon
I couldn't imagine
description.
them coming up with anything negative.
No, after this. And the way you talked about so many of their favorite books, I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of great things to say, Jared. I think it's going to go really well.
That's right. That's right.
There is a Patreon in the description. It's optional, but always appreciated. Until we see you next time, be good, be safe, and remember to always
keep turning the page.
Boom. He watches the videos. Can you believe it?